violence in 2017. In all, there have been over 530 homicides in Chicago since the beginning of the year. Authorities are calling the death of a 1-month-old Chicago girl a homicide. Toriella Turpin died at a hospital. She was found unresponsive Saturday in her home near 67th and Southeast End. An autopsy determined that she was beaten to death. An investigation is underway. A Wisconsin man is facing felony charges after an AR-15 rifle and a pressure cooker were found in his vehicle over the weekend in Chicago. Police say Santos Zamora was pulled over for speeding Saturday morning near O'Hare. He was arrested after officers discovered the rifle and the cooker in the car during a traffic stop. He appeared in court yesterday on a felony count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. Cubs and Nationals meet in Game 3 of the NLDS at Wrigley Field today. Cubs skipper Joe Maddon says in spite of losing over the weekend, he's happy with how the team has played so far.
Yeah, there's an upside and a downside. Of course, you'd like to be going home 2-0. We played so well for 2 days. I cannot be happier than I am with our group right now.
Chicago and Washington split those first 2 games in D.C. Nats doubling up the Cubs 6-3 Saturday in Game 2. Mitchell Trubisky starts for the Bears tonight on Monday Night Football. Trubisky and the Bears welcome the Vikings to Soldier Field. Bears head coach John Fox on the decision to go with the rookie.
I thought he made great strides even through camp, being new to our offense, and just felt like, he was kind of ready for the next step.
Fox decided to bench Mike Glennon after their 35-14 loss to the Packers. A Woodstock man charged this morning after a firework was mistaken for a candle. And that firework exploded in a woman's hand in Antioch. Authorities say Justin Kennedy brought that firework to a gathering Saturday at a home on West North Avenue, believing it was a candle. The woman lit the firework and held it in her hand before it exploded. Kennedy this morning is charged with felony reckless conduct and a misdemeanor endangering the life or health of a child. The Democratic race for governor in Illinois becoming J.B. Pritzker against the field. Latest example, Democratic County Chairman Saturday overwhelmingly voting to endorse Pritzker, getting 65 of 90 votes cast. Chris Kennedy got 17. 8 others voted not to endorse. Illinois lawmakers moving quickly to use the Las Vegas shootings to try and push for new gun control laws in the state. Suburban Democrat Marty Moylan last week announced a plan to ban the sale of bump stocks, but has since added to his plan a ban on assault weapons, 50 caliber rifles, and any magazine larger than 10 rounds. Erica Harold is hitting on what's considered to be the biggest weakness of Illinois' current Attorney General. Harold says if she wins, she will turn the office into a public corruption fighter. Harold over the weekend saying she's running on the Republican ticket to add teeth to the state's response to public corruption, something Republicans and Democrats have long criticized current Attorney General Lisa Madigan for not doing enough of. Blackhawks start a 2-game road trip tonight, taking on the Maple Leafs after opening with dominating wins over the Penguins and Blue Jackets. Pelicans put down the Bulls 108-95. Preseason action at the UC. Yankees and Red Sox both stay alive with Game 3 wins at home in playoff baseball on Sunday, while the Dodgers will try and finish off a 3-game sweep of the Diamondbacks. Galen Rupp becomes the first American-born runner to win the Chicago Marathon in 35 years, clocking a very respectable 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 20 seconds. Sunday, last U.S. runner to win was Khalid Kanuchi in 2002. Marcel Hug won the men's wheelchair race, while Tatiana McFadden won the women's wheelchair race in a scorching 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 14 seconds. The news this hour is a service of Napa Auto Parts. And at 5:07, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer, your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
From Struck Films,
Where did you come from?
the true story of a stray dog
Who are you?
That's Pluto.
who saves a struggling family in more ways than one.
What's wrong?
This isn't working anymore.
Sometimes help comes from the most unlikely places.
I don't need you.
He's trying. He really is.
Sometimes one dog can change everything.
Awfully small, aren't we, boy?
From the director of The Other Side of Heaven, The Stray, rated PG. For theater locations and more information, visit thestray.movie. In theaters now.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
The same banking team you already know and trust at the private bank has come together with one of the strongest banks in North America. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. We share the same focus on building strong client relationships, and we're now backed by a bank with over 150 years of experience in putting clients first. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to helping your business grow is now stronger than ever. Visit us at cibc.com/US. Member FDIC.
5:10 and a check of the early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's hope things are still beginning to be opened up, Jim Telemonte, after that marathon yesterday.
That's right, Mike. Good morning. We'll have some more openings in the next hour. We still have a closure of Columbus Drive between Roosevelt and Balboa. The crews are busy out there at this hour cleaning up, and both Jackson and Balboa remain blocked between Columbus and Lakeshore Drive, not all the way to Michigan. But those roads are scheduled to reopen here by 6 this morning. We have some clearing on the southbound tri-state as well. There was a crash north of Willow Road. 2 right lanes have reopened as that's been pushed out of the way. No delays right now. The Edens, the Kennedy, the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, or the Bryan. The area tollways again are looking good. Northwest Indiana as well. It'll be a heavy traffic afternoon and evening with Cubs home this afternoon and the Bears tonight. Traffic service of Chili's new burgers, ribs, and fajitas. Chili's has news bigger than their new ribs. Their whole menu is better. Now they're focused on one thing: burgers, ribs, and fajitas. Half-pound Big Mouth burgers, Texas-sized ribs that have more meat, and fajitas sizzling with 48% more chicken and beef. Coming today and see why Chili's is back, baby. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. A service of Napa Auto Parts. Driving in the rain can be difficult. Almost as difficult as remembering you need new wiper blades. Now the Trico Force wiper blades are $15 off. Prepare at Napa. Driving isn't difficult at all. That's right, $15 off. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. With your official Chicagoland weather forecast this morning, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today mostly sunny and very warm, high 80. Mild tonight with patchy clouds, low 58. Tomorrow, breezy and cooler with some sun, giving way to clouds with a shower in the area late in the afternoon, high 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
53 at O'Hare, 62 along the lakefront. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Happy Columbus Day or happy Exploitation of Indigenous People Day, depending on your perspective. Antifa.
Yeah.
Or Antifa.
I like Antifa.
Okay, Antifa.
But are you more of an Antifa or an Antifa?
Antifa.
Okay.
These goons and thugs and miscreants are planning Deface Columbus Day.
Oh.
Where they will, rain mayhem down on inanimate objects, statues, Columbus statues in particular. So they're planning a day of vandalism and violence to celebrate Native Americans. I'm having a difficult time following the logic, but that's not unusual with Antifa.
And one kid was already arrested here in Chicago, Kyle Mescal. He was charged with defacing the Christopher Columbus statue in a Chicago park. He spray painted it, and so he takes off on his bike after, and then a witness saw him.
His skateboard was in the garage?
Yeah, his skateboard was getting fixed, and took off on his bicycle, and a witness actually tackled him, an Italian. Hey! And then the cops picked him up. He's been charged, with criminal damage to government property. It's a felony. So the little bike escape and the little, red paint doesn't work well. And I don't think Tony Soprano is too happy.
Right.
Mr. Cushman is teaching your son that if Columbus was alive today, he would go on trial for crimes against humanity like Milosevic in, Europe.
Your teacher said that.
It's in my history book.
So you finally read a book and it's bullshit. Look, you had to walk in Columbus's shoes to see what he went through. People thought the world was flat, for crying out loud. Then he lands on an island with a bunch of naked savages on it. I mean, that took a lot of guts.
Who cares? It's what he did.
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer. And in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story.
And this house is like the Sopranos house in so many ways. So we will also be celebrating Columbus Day. So happy Columbus Day, Tony Soprano style.
Happy You People Day. Now, you were off on Friday, and I kept saying that there was three things you were doing. Gathering an exploratory committee to run for governor. Mm-hmm. Watching the Cubs Nationals game and at Washington, D.C., because I think secretly you're a Cub fan.
No.
Or training for the Chicago Marathon. Because you like to run.
Do more than one of those things at once, but yes, yeah.
So was that you that I saw? Because my relatives they came in from Sweden, so we were out there with the Swedish flag waving.
Was that one of your relatives, the white guy who won?
Oh.
What happened to the Kenyans and the Ethiopians?
Oh, yeah, first time since 2002.
Did they not participate?
No, they were in the race. I watched the first few miles because he pulled out ahead right away, and he never looked back. His name is Galen.
Did the guy who tackled the Antifa guy tackle any of the Kenyans or Ethiopians? Because I don't understand how a representative from one of those countries lost that race. Haven't they won it 100 years in a row?
Yeah. So, again, since 2002 is the last time a whitey won the race.
It's real fun to see Americans doing well again and being competitive in these races. And hopefully we can inspire a future generation to pick up distance running. And they'll have that belief growing up that they can be there.
And Galen Rupp,
come on.
What?
No.
What?
Wait, can you just? I mean, seriously, the Kenyans and the Ethiopians.
They took a back seat. He was too fast. He broke out ahead within the first 2 miles, and they could never catch up with him. And he's from Eugene, Oregon.
Did he get drug tested?
No.
Oh,
but they might want to get his ears pinned back.
A Prefontaine. We got a Prefontaine.
So he's from Eugene, Oregon, but his dad grew up in Maywood and in Oak Forest, so this is where he spent all of his vacations.
Most of the only vacations that I took were coming to Chicago as a kid, to visit my family, go to a Cubs game, and I just love it here.
And I think today he should throw out the first pitch of the game or sing the 7th inning stretch.
Maybe,
that's what I think.
Let's wait for his 14th birthday before he's allowed to do that. I mean, how old
if he
is that
gets
guy?
his ears pinned back, he'll look older. That's what Don Lemon did. Don Lemon had ears like this guy, Ropp, and got plastic surgery, and then got a lot of job offers. Have you seen this guy, Galen Rupp?
No, I haven't seen
Oh, well, that's why you don't know what I'm talking
golf.
about. Oh.
Yeah, but I just heard him, and I mean,
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, Mark in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan, Amy. Everything with the Italian, the stereotypes, that's a little rough. So now, every time we talk about Swedish, we got to sound like the Muppets guy.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. The Swedish chef. Absolutely.
Amy had said about going to her happy place when somebody's daughter speaks. When Amy starts that, I go to my happy place and try to act like it's not happening. You guys have a good morning.
Thanks, Mark.
And happy You People's Day, huh?
Yeah, so how'd your relatives do?
Finished under 4 hours. That was his goal. This is his 8th marathon. I'm so proud of him. He had he's running with a group of Swedes. I mean, they're a force to be reckoned
Swedes
with.
they always operate in packs. Everybody knows that.
And some
like ravenous wolves.
Yeah, because some Norwegians would run by and I'd bid the big flag. I'm like, well, good luck to you too. And they, I was just joking around with anybody who's from Scandinavia.
Good-natured Scandinavian ribbing.
It was, and they laughed. They thought it was funny because rarely do they see a Swedish flag out there.
Or other people.
But so how was your run? Because I thought that I saw you at the 8-mile marker. And you had some goo in one hand and some, Gatorade packs in the other. I thought you looked pretty strong.
Yeah, I was trying to keep up with Oprah, but she's just got more staying power than I do. I mean, I think the inspiration of this young American, Galen, whatever his name is,
Galen Rupp,
I think motivated a lot of Americans to participate and do their best. Yeah.
So where were you on Friday?
So it was a happy marathon day.
Yeah.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
All right. So you were golfing, right? Tell us. We did a whole segment about you running for governor. And it was a whole half-hour segment.
I was at the Traverse Invitational Tournament.
Oh,
acronym fans delight there. If you Traverse Invitational Tournament in Traverse City, Michigan. It's an annual golf tournament.
Well, how did you do?
I played okay.
Respectable? Would you bring any hardware
back? We do like a
back?
Ryder Cup format, USA versus Europe. You'll be happy to know USA won.
Okay, good. Merca. Forecast for today, well, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be nice. We're going to have some patchy clouds, I suppose. By game time at 3 o'clock, it'll be 76 degrees. Going up to a high of 80 around 5 o'clock. And then for the Bears-Vikings game, kickoff temperature will be 66 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Well, things are looking pretty good on the expressways and tollways at this hour. The Edens, Kennedy, just fine. No delays yet on 190 this morning. The Eisenhower, the Stevenson, and the Ryan are good. There is some road work on the outbound ride from 87th to the Split, 3 left lanes. A little mild congestion inbound I-57 to Bishop Ford approaching the merge. Tollways are okay. Northwest Indiana 2 around Grant Park. Balboa and Jackson remain blocked. In Columbus and Lakeshore Drive. Columbus is closed. Roosevelt to Balboa, but all that is scheduled to reopen by 6 this morning. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you've been procrastinating to buy a MyPillow, the MyPillow 4-pack deal is expiring October 9th. So I strongly urge you to go online or call now to make sure you take advantage of this great deal. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack, including 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. But only for a few more days. Now you can move the fill to give you the support you need regardless of sleep position, and you won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic and have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. True patriot and founder Mike Lindell donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. So get your 50% off the 4-pack now, but only for a short time by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy. Or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-900-5338. That's 1-800-900-5338. 1-800-900-5338.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Americans have the right and advantage of being armed, unlike the citizens of other countries whose governments are afraid to trust the people with arms. James Madison, Federalist Papers. Our founders recognized that the common individual needs to be trusted, but with trust, there must be common sense and personal responsibility. This is especially true of handguns. If you've been thinking of making a purchase, visit the Range at 355. The Range at 355 is so much more than a state-of-the-art shooting range. It is a fully stocked showroom carrying a variety of firearms with brands like Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, HKs, and Glock. The Range at 355 offers Illinois concealed carry license training and a full curriculum of classes designed to teach you what you need to know to be a responsible gun owner and concealed carrier. Their professional team will train you like a pro. Founded by patriots like you, providing professional guidance and courteous instruction. Trust your skills to the pros at the Range at 355. For range hours and class info, visit range355.com. Range355.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Tweet from Mick Kaler. I'll be finished running the marathon in about 3 more hours. Hey, it's just about finishing. I am actually taking a break. I'm going to resume after the show, but then I'm going to spread the remainder of my run over the rest of the week.
Oh, I see.
Because it's just about finishing.
Yeah, it's about finishing. Even if they take the finish line down, you know where it is. And you have to cross that threshold.
And you said $1 million is how much that kid won?
No,
kid,
200,000. He's 31. He just looks like a kid.
Oh, 200,000?
Yeah, but then you get endorsements, and it could add up. Honestly, they should let him sing the 7th inning stretch today at the Cubs game.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Or throw out the first pitch. He'll be there somehow, some way. Now, are you going to today's game?
No, I'm not going. I may go tomorrow.
I think you secretly like the Cubs.
No, I like the Nationals. And I like the Nationals to beat the Cubs, as they did on Saturday in that great comeback. Speaking of sports, Vice President Pence, he's from Indiana. He was the governor there.
Yeah.
He was a congressman. And he was at the Colts game over the weekend because they're the Indianapolis football team.
I've got a great headline. He took a knee. No, he took a hike after they took a knee. Huh? You like that?
It's okay.
Well, I was working on it all morning.
You're a little too proud of it. It's not that great. It's okay.
No, the vice president takes a hike after the NFL takes a knee. Booyah.
Yeah, the booyah helps. Try boom goes the dynamite at the end. So he walked out when a bunch of 49ers players took a knee again. This is the team that seems to be dominating the taking a knee business at present. The NFL Players Association responded, releasing a statement yesterday evening saying it's their platform to peacefully raise awareness to issues that deserve attention. It's actually not. It's not their platform, actually. It's their employer's platform. We should not stifle these discussions and allow our rights to become subservient to the very opinions our Constitution protects. I mean, so just, hey, dunderheads, hey, dumb jocks, again, at Lucas Oil Field, the First Amendment is not a restraint against the Irsay family or Lucas Oil Field. It's a restraint against the government. So, no, you actually don't have constitutional protections in that context. But, okay, that's what the NFL Players Association said in defense of their less intelligent brethren.
But he was there to honor, because they were honoring the career of legendary quarterback Peyton Manning, so that's why he went. So he flew from Vegas to Indianapolis, and everyone was saying that was planned. Like, they had reporters stationed outside of a door because they knew that he was going to leave early to take a stand
don't they
against
have reporters following the VP as a matter of course.
No, not according to CNN. They said reporters were tipped that he was going to be leaving, so they were stationed outside of a door because they knew if somebody took a knee, he would take a hike.
Yeah, so what?
And he did.
That's good. And
okay.
then Trump tweeted in support of it, and they've made a statement, and he's doubling down on that statement, and good for him, and good for Pence.
They're just saying it's a manufactured drama. So
the manufactured drama is coming from the players, and now they've gotten a response from the White House in terms of what their personal opinions are. This isn't force of government; they do what their employer allows them to do. But they've gotten a response from the White House, and rather than backing down amid cheap stories and on ESPN, thank you, Clay Travis, as well as CNN and the rest, they're doubling down because they know, because number one, they're right, and number two, they're going to win this battle politically. You've already had the NFL essentially concede without conceding. The number of players now doing this is de minimis.
Right.
It's basically the 49ers and a handful of other knuckleheads. So the NFL has no staying power in this issue because these people don't know what they're talking about.
And Jerry Jones on Sunday said, if you take a knee, you will not be playing. So he laid his foot down.
They did they had their moment of solidarity.
It's over.
And now we're all moving on, and we're going to stop doing this because I want to make money. I want fans not to flee our teams and the merchandise they buy and the games they attend and the ad revenue they generate by watching the NFL on television, all of which is taking a substantial hit. They're feeling it, and so they're responding. It's not necessarily deserving of applause because they're doing it for economic interests, mostly, not all of them, but mostly. But they're feeling it, and it shows that the American people have a voice, too.
At tonight Bears-Vikings game, at halftime, they're showing the new trailer for Star Wars, and then if you call this number, you can get tickets right away. So they're trying to attract people in very strange ways to watch the NFL.
Well, with respect to the Bears, you have got to be very creative to get people to watch that brand of football.
Tonight's the night. Trubisky starts. This is the new era.
Right. What's our bet is over under 10 fantasy points. I've got the under.
Exactly. And then also, too, real quick, in reference to Mike Pence, though, he's coming under fire this morning from CNN and others because he spent $240,000 tax dollars going from Las Vegas to Indianapolis to stage that moment, then to go back to L.A. for a donor dinner.
The people who paid no attention to Michelle Obama's lavish vacations and the travel of all of the sycophants and staff of the Obama administration and all of a sudden they're fiscal hawks.
Yeah.
They want every red cent accounted for that the federal government spends. It's laughable.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Harvey Weinstein's a scumbag.
But first, let's go into the newsroom to a very decent family man. Here's Mike Scott.
62 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Southeast getting soaked this morning by remnants of Hurricane Nate. It's now a tropical depression moving toward Maine. It will exit the U.S. And head to Canada by Tuesday. More than 100,000 lost power as the storm slammed the Gulf Coast and then moved north. At least 5 million remain under flood watches early this morning. Senator Ron Johnson says the move to repeal and replace Obamacare is not dead at all. Wisconsin Republican telling CNN State of the Union lawmakers just need a little more time to get the job done. Johnson also says he's not concerned at all that President Trump has reached out to Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer to get the job done. Crews are battling a house fire in Batavia this morning. It started early this morning inside a home on Monterey Drive. No word of injuries. Deadly shootings continue adding up in Chicago. The Sun-Times reports a man shot to death Friday was the 500th person to be killed in gunfire in 2017. In all, 530 homicides in the city of Chicago. Authorities are calling the death of a 1-month-old girl a homicide. Torellia Turpin died At a nearby hospital, she was found unresponsive Saturday in her home at 67th and Southeast End. A Wisconsin man this morning faces felony charges after an AR-15 rifle and a pressure cooker were found in his vehicle over the weekend in Chicago. Santos Zamora was pulled over for speeding Saturday near O'Hare. He was arrested after officers discovered the rifle and pressure cooker in that car during a traffic stop. Chicago sports. Well, later on today, the Cubs take on the Nationals in Game 3 of the NLDS. Mitchell Trubisky starts for the Bears tonight on Monday Night Football as they take on the Vikings, coming off a loss to the Packers. Blackhawks begin a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs, while the Pelicans beat the Bulls 108-95 in the NBA preseason. Galen Rupp, first American-born runner to win the Chicago Marathon in 35 years. The news service of Napa Auto Parts. Driving in the rain can be difficult, almost as difficult as remembering that you need new wiper blades. So now is the time that the Trico Force wiper blade are $15 off per pair at Napa. Driving isn't difficult at all. That's right, $15 off. Quality parts, helpful people. That is Napa know-how. 5:33 is our time. We'll get a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants people to get real.
I want to thank Trump for making black people #1 on the most oppressed list.
Can someone just quickly give me an answer? What has Donald Trump ever done to make you think that blacks are the most oppressed people on earth? I'm a little bit lost on that.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
Being complete layman at the whole home buying thing, we were just hoping we weren't going to get taken through the ringer for. You know, with you guys, we felt like we were a priority instead of just another number. We really did feel like we had your guys' personal touch. We could talk to Barry. I mean, you know, any way that it went. If we didn't get you on the phone, we knew that within 15 minutes we were getting a call or an email back. You guys held us by the hand so that we could finish the race, and you guys definitely got it done for us.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
5:34. The news is also a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. They've been putting tires on cars since 1926. They know when the road gets rough, you need a set of tires that can get tough. $60 on get $60 on a Firestone Visa prepaid card by mail when you purchase a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. Let's get an update on those roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic is heavy now on the inbound Ryan Expressway from Canal Port to the Burns Circle. 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15, 3 left lanes are closed at 87th for some overnight work. I-57, 16 minutes. I-80 to the Burns, Bishop Ford 19. The other expressways and tollways are looking pretty good at this hour. In downtown Chicago, Columbus is blocked. Roosevelt to Balboa. Balboa and Jackson closed. In Columbus and Lakeshore Drive to clean up after Sunday's marathon. All are scheduled to reopen within the next half hour. And traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. Driving in the rain can be difficult, almost as difficult as remembering you need new wiper blades. Now the Trico Force wiper blades are $15 off per pair at Napa. Driving isn't difficult at all. That's right, $15 off. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Mostly sunny, very warm, high near 80 today. Patchy clouds and mild, low 58 overnight. We'll have some sunshine tomorrow. In the morning, clouding up in the afternoon, breezy and cooler, and we may get another shower late in the afternoon. High 67. Currently 54 at O'Hare, 60 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. He gone. Harvey Weinstein fired from the company that he started. His co-founder, the Weinstein Company, yesterday after the New York Times investigation that detailed allegations that he engaged in rampant sexual harassment, assault, and otherwise just lecherous behavior for decades and decades.
Well, he would do crazy things like make his staff members tuck him in for a turn down at night and then make other people watch him take a shower and demand all these massages. I mean, it's just really creepy, deviant sexual behavior.
So Don Trump Jr. and others noticed rather striking silence from certain quarters over the last several days as this Weinstein affair has bubbled to the surface and become an international story. You haven't heard the vanguards of feminism weighing in, as you might.
He marched in a feminist parade in Utah. He was there for the Sundance Film Festival, and he was arm in arm with the pea-hat wearing ladies. I'm down with you, ladies.
Well, it's funny you mention that because there's a good piece in American Greatness, AmericanGreatness.com, amgreatness.com, by Julie Kelly, who's actually a local. Hey, lefties, where are your pea-hats now? Well, where are the pea-hats, including pea-hat leader Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
She's been noticeably absent. Rob Schneider, of all people, actually tweeted, "Can whoever kidnapped," to the words of this, "can whoever kidnapped Hillary Clinton and prevented her from talking to the press over the last 48 hours, please release her."
That's good.
Because she's been all over the place for the last week, these interviews and book promotions, and yet she can't be found for comment on Harvey Weinstein. President Trump, on the other hand, was found, and he had a comment.
I've known Harvey Weinstein for a long time. I'm not at all surprised to see it.
Wow. I mean, he donated
that's not the best comment, but
almost
okay.
$1 million to the Democratic National Committee.
$1.4 million in political contributions since the 92 election.
Should they give the money back? 312-642-5600. It's our Turnkey Pro answer line.
Several Democrats are Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer. Right, of course. They have to virtue signal here. DNC, right, $800,000 in several of its accounts. This is according to organizations that analyze political donations. It's all publicly available information.
He was married the whole time with children. Now he gets to spend more time with his family.
Second marriage, 5 kids in total. And, the interesting thing about this is, look, sexual predators and boorish behavior spans the partisan divide, right? We've talked about Republicans and Democrats, and we don't have any sacred cows here. But it does seem like the best they can, the left will try and rally around the left. A vast right-wing conspiracy to protect Bill Clinton. And even with Harvey Weinstein, vaunted SNL, the purveyors of culture and what is proper, knowing who to parody and how to parody them, pulled punches with Harvey Weinstein.
Well, there was a skit on the docket. I don't know if our friend Sharon Panazzo, she's a PR director over there at SNL. And what they do is they have a dress rehearsal at 10 o'clock. They see what works with the audience. And some skits work and some don't. But the Harvey Weinstein skit worked. But yet they still pulled it when they went live with the show. And here's Lauren Michael, a reporter, caught up with him.
Mr. Michaels, great show today. I was watching the show. I was surprised you didn't do Harvey Weinstein. It's a New York thing. It's a New York thing? Have a good one.
Yeah, that's
all right, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, it's a New York thing.
Yeah, like I got your back because, you're from the hood. Our families grew up in the same barrio. Give me a break.
Right. So what does that say about
the audience?
What does that say about SNL? This is great because here's what, by the way, of course, covering this, even though the New York Times did write the original story, they're also, you've got a headline blaring over the weekend to try and muddy the water. The flagrant sexual hypocrisy of conservative men, op-ed in the New York Times talking about that Republican congressman from Pennsylvania, Tim Murphy, who announced he was resigning from his House seat this month after this scandal involving an extramarital affair and an effort to pressure the woman into getting an abortion even though she wasn't pregnant. And there are other examples, too, as I said. But it's trying to muddy the water here. Yeah, Tim Murphy, yeah, he should resign. I don't want to protect Tim Murphy either. Who cares? He's just a politician. These members of Congress are replaceable. But it's interesting that the left's perspective on this isn't the same. It isn't the same.
But he blamed the error, not the era that he lived in the 60s and 70s. Like, that was acceptable behavior back then. That's what I found so alarming.
The statement that he issued last week, right? I mean, this is great. I came of age in the 60s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then. I checked with my dad because he came of age in the 60s and 70s too. And it turns out, according to my dad and his experience, and in his friend and professional colleague circle, extorting women for sex and otherwise assaulting and harassing them, not the culture.
No.
In the 60s and 70s in the workplace or at home for that matter. Did you ever? You probably talked about this on Friday, but the whole kind of my journey to conquer my demons rap. I hired Lisa Bloom. He quotes from Jay-Z in his statement. Now, Lisa Bloom and our friend Lanny Davis, they both resigned, too, on Saturday amid all the pressure.
Right.
Board members from the Weinstein Company were resigning because nobody wants to be scrutinized. They were fine to turn a blind eye. They're fine to flack and get paid for it, these hacks like Bloom and Lanny Davis, former Bill Clinton apologist. Well, current Bill and Hillary Clinton apologist, but he was a counselor to Bill Clinton during his time as president.
And Lisa Bloom's mom is Gloria Allred.
Of course, right.
Who she stood by her daughter. She was on Good Morning America on Saturday and said, it's not, I can't judge who her clients are, who she chooses as clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, really?
Of
you
course
spent
you
your
can't
whole
judge.
career attacking men, sometimes rightfully, sometimes wrongfully, who behave badly.
Yeah.
She did.
Women who are silent in the face of it or who are apologists for predators. So, here's what he thought he was going to do. Okay, I got to hire Lisa Bloom. Let me slap a quote in here from some Jay-Z song.
Where's Gloria?
Wait, there's a third prong to the damage control he efforted. I'm going to need a place to channel that anger. So I've decided I'm going to give the NRA my full attention. I hope Wayne LaPierre will enjoy his retirement party. I'm going to do it at the same place I had my bar mitzvah. I'm making a movie about our president. Perhaps we can make it a joint retirement party. So, hey, I'm still good old left-wing Harv. I'm going to go after the NRA and Donald Trump for you with, the Weinstein Company and all the firepower I have at my backing. That's the way he tried to get out of this. And what did he try to get out of? This is one of the best pieces. This gets specific that I read on the topic.
Article.
This is from Jade Badowski, who is a waitress at the Tribeca Grill, which was located in Weinstein's office building.
Oh,
and
I
so
bet
she
this is
had
spectacular.
regular interaction with him because he was there all the time. Harvey Weinstein was every bit the sleazy Hollywood caricature recent reports have made him out to be. When I was working as a waitress, I watched numerous times as a string of young women, some seemingly no older than 21, enter the restaurant for long, flirty dinners with him, even though he was married with 5 children. These women were all the same, vaguely European, always beautiful, stylishly dressed, and totally out of place next to someone like him. Yeah, I mean, you've seen the pictures of him, right? He's a toad. The staff could usually tell that the woman was there to meet him before she'd even said a word. If a woman waited for him at the bar, he'd bellow furiously at more than one of us for not having seated her prior to his arrival. Why the F isn't she at the table, he'd say. His ritual for the rendezvous was very firm: champagne, caviar, an unspoken rule that Weinstein and his date not be disturbed. Fellow server told her, when a girl arrived waiting for Harvey, we all knew what was in store for her. A little small talk and a sip of champagne. There would be an office tour, in quotes, usually well past working hours, after which the girl would return looking worse for the wear and barely able to finish the glass. His food tastes were those of a toddler. He'd regularly order well-done fries, chopped up fettuccine, ice cream with extra sprinkles, and French onion soup that he would slurp and splatter all over the booth.
Oh, I hate sloppy eaters. Nothing is more grotesque, bigger turnoff than that.
Always a bottle of still water was expected as soon as he arrived. Coworker brought sparkling water and said he made his frustration known by attempting to tap her butt to get her attention. Inappropriate touching was a habit of his. If you weren't paying attention, the restaurant was loud. He might lurch at whatever part of you he could reach. Once while I put an order at the computer, he barreled up and body checked me. Then, as if nothing had happened, he barked, back, coffee, tea, now. So she just talks
Sounds
about
like a monster.
Yeah,
he's just grotesque.
He is
grossly
grotesque.
overweight.
He's like
disgusting.
a cartoonish caricature of the sleazy Hollywood producer. Now, his work product was great, but here's the thing: character is destiny. We talk about it in politics, at least we try to, because people make the argument. Character doesn't matter; it's just how you vote. Well, character is destiny, and it's destiny no matter how talented you are in a particular space. And now Harvey Weinstein is finding his destiny. Jordan in Forest Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. There was an article this weekend from what the publication called The Wrap, W-R-A-P, and it was a writer who worked at the New York Times in 2004. This writer had some evidence of Weinstein with his trysts over in Europe, and this also involved the president of Miramax, Italy, who was like a flunky for Weinstein. And anyway, so they had all this evidence, and the New York Times killed the story in part by pleadings from Matt Damon, among others, and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's hiding what's out there and silence from the other side.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. It's great to point that out to the people that are the enablers and those who are beards for him, essentially covered up. It says something about Matt Damon and unfortunately Russell Crowe too. I actually like. I mean, in addition to his acting, but well, the other thing just on this topic and him making the point about a reporter who tried to move this story almost 15 years ago. Bill Cosby, same thing.
Oh yeah.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, left-wing icon of all people, wrote a piece after Cosby's, boorish and criminal conduct was exposed, and the decades upon decades of lecherous behavior exposed, about how he never asked those questions. He had heard rumors. He never followed the leads. He never pursued the story, and so it's just very interesting how those that are disposed to the left, which is the overwhelming majority in the press corps, and obviously the overwhelming majority in Hollywood, work to cover for, the grossest among them. So you have the Cosby example as there's a Weinstein example, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen on the right as well. It has happened. The difference is the leading lights of conservatism aren't afraid to dispatch bad actors like a Tim Murphy in Pennsylvania, or worse, a Denny Hastert in Illinois. Not afraid to dispatch them. The left, very, very reticent. The truth and some stand for propriety only as a last resort.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Tasty Catering invites you to come together this holiday season and celebrate with great food and great company.
Since 1989, Tasty Catering has been planning memorable holiday office parties all over Chicagoland and bringing your team together this year in the spirit of the season.
Their delicious holiday menu at tastycatering.com features all the amazing appetizers and entrees, savory side dishes, and decadent desserts that you'll need for the ideal holiday office party.
From elegant plated dinners to casual company buffets and festive cocktail hours.
Stop by their Elk Grove Village Kitchen and meet their award-winning catering family and sample some of their new and classic holiday menu dishes.
The experienced holiday events team is ready to take you step by step through the planning process, simply and stress-free.
Don't delay. Call Tasty Catering at 847-593-2000 or view the holiday menu online at tastycatering.com.
That's 847-593-2000. tastycatering.com. Holidays. Gather, eat, and enjoy together.
Rolling hills, beautiful prairie views. You can take it all in when you play golf at Golf Club of Illinois in Algonquin. Play at one of the finest courses in Illinois with a special seasonal deal from ChicagoRadioDeals.com. The Golf Club of Illinois is a classic link-style course featuring high grasses, treacherous sand bunkers, and strategically placed mounds on each hole. This course is a stern test for all skill levels and is consistently ranked among the top 10 public courses to play by Chicagoland Golf. Find out why Golf Club of Illinois is a secret favorite for those looking for a unique, challenging round of golf. Play with your favorite foursome of golf buddies for only $95. That includes cart and is usually almost $200. Or for the dedicated golfer, tee up the preferred player membership, normally $300, only $165. That includes discounted rates for rounds of golf cart and 2 bonus rounds of golf during the season. For more warm weather deals, just visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to CreditCard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
After your choice of spouse, where you send your kids to school is the most important decision you make. So I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys, grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models, deep intellects. They get to the heart of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. And this week on Against the Current at upstream-ideas.com, I sat down and did an extended interview with the headmaster, Neil Fagan, and the athletic director there, Will Ray, former men's basketball coach at Loyola, about how Northridge Prep turns young boys into thoughtful, respectful, talented, successful men. Northridge Prep, so you want to check that out at upstream-ideas.com. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 school in America from U.S. News. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 22nd. To learn more about their October 22nd open house, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Got your head in the IT cloud? How are things in there? Confusing? When your business is considering the location for your precious data, or if you're already using the cloud and can't seem to navigate through, Turnkey IT is ready to clear things up. You need to be ready. It's estimated that by 2020, over 78% of all small businesses will be partially or totally using the cloud. The truth is, it's great for everyone in some way, but in what way for you? Turnkey IT can help your business understand the cloud and help you utilize it safely and securely. And sure, you may already be using Office 365, but there's so much more that the cloud can do. Turnkey IT is eager to educate you on what's best for your business. And don't forget, if you're frustrated by the lack of responsiveness or the high cost of your current IT company, Turnkey can help with that too. Clear up the cloudiness when it comes to the latest technology. Be sure your business is current. Visit turnkey.pro to make contact today. Turnkey.pro.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Illinois is the land of the political cautionary tale. From Denny Hastert to Jesse Jackson Jr. to Aaron Schock to Rod Blagojevich, Illinois Pauls are featured in more tawdry tabloid stories than grainy photos of Sasquatch. But it's all too real in Illinois, and it's gotten real ugly for kinda sorta Republican Governor Bruce Rauner. In the last month, the wealthy salesman turned politician has busied himself selling manure-smelling air freshener to the electorate in the form of transgender birth certificates, a sanctuary state designation, and establishing himself as the first governor in U.S. history to mandate taxpayer funding for abortion on demand. In his 3 years as governor, Rauner, who campaigned as having no social agenda, has advanced only a social agenda, and one rooted in cultural Marxism to boot. So as Rauner's poll numbers continue to read like a Chicago thermometer in February, here's the moral of the Rauner candidate profile. Look for the Hank Reardons and look out for the James Taggarts. There's nothing wrong with an outsider businessman, so long as you remember that financial success is not a substitute for core principles, and that business acumen and courage can be mutually exclusive.
Our rights don't come from government.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Democrats are saying, you have a fundamental human right to health care. No, you don't. Health care, a job, a roof over your head, these are not rights. Government can't give you rights.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
I don't think most people in America understand this anymore.
5:57. Let's get a check on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy Expressway, it's heavy from the River Road toll to Canfield. 21 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 22, slow Bryn Mawr to Sayre. And then it's heavy as well on westbound 190, Kennedy to the Tri-State. Edens is good. Inbound Eisenhower, got about a 3-minute delay from 25th Avenue to 9th Avenue. Outbound 5. Inbound Stevenson, 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Bryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both just 18 minutes from I-80 to Verge. Tollways are looking good. No delays to report in Northwest Indiana. And traffic is a service of Staples. Staples has solutions to keep your business safe and protected. Keep your tech and data safe, backed up and protected from viruses. Now get a free security check for PC at Staples. Details in store or staples.com/security. In store only, ends 10/28. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We get the very latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Patchy morning fog, otherwise a mostly sunny day today with a high 80. Patchy clouds at night, low 58. Increasing clouds tomorrow, late afternoon shower around, breezy and cooler with a high 67. Then periods of rain at night, low tomorrow night 56. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
54 at O'Hare, the news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month, at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $4.29 a quart. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state or local taxes or recycling fees. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer this morning. Crews battling a house fire in Batavia. No word on injuries this morning. Deadly shootings continue to add up this year in Chicago. Sun-Times says a man shot to death Friday night on the south side was the 500th to be killed. A Wisconsin man facing felony charges after an AR-15 rifle and a pressure cooker were found in his vehicle after a traffic stop Saturday near O'Hare. Cubs and Nationals meet in Game 3 of the NLDS early today at Wrigley Field, while later on tonight, Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears will tackle the Vikings at Soldier Field on Monday Night Football. Blackhawks begin a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs. Pelicans beat the Bulls in preseason action at the United Center. More Dan and Amy next. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
It's been a week since Americans woke up to that horror show in Vegas. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I could smell the gunpowder that had went off in the room. So we were tripping over long guns inside.
He was one of the police officers talking to CBS 60 Minutes about what they found in the dead gunman's hotel room when they burst in.
I did notice a note on the nightstand near his shooting platform. I could see on it he had written the distance, the elevation he was on, the drop of what his bullet was going to be for the crowd.
There was another vigil yesterday for the 58 people killed, nearly 500 injured. Parts of California's wine country are on fire.
My wife and kids, we were evacuated out and took them out when cinders were landing in the front of our house.
Eric Housley's in Napa, and he said a few minutes ago some wineries have burned. Earlier this morning, the sheriff said they're in survival mode. There are also fires in Sonoma County. President Trump is telling Congress he won't agree to extend that DACA program, shielding immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids, unless there's also funding for a border wall and immigration policy changes. Democratic leaders say he can't be serious about compromise. Meanwhile, the president's feuding with a fellow Republican. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, this fight played out on social media. The president blasting Republican Senator Bob Corker on Twitter, saying he begged him to endorse him. The president also said Corker wanted to be Secretary of State, and he said no thanks. Corker fired back minutes later, tweeting, "It's a shame the White House has become an adult daycare center. Someone obviously missed their shift this morning." The president responded back, tweeting, "Bob Corker gave us the Iran deal, and that's about it. We need health care. We need tax cuts reform. We need people who can get the job done." Dave.
Rachel, an American has won the Nobel Economics Prize. Robert Thaler from the University of Chicago honored for his work on the psychology of economics, how what people think and how they behave affect market outcomes. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer, your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. Only Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards. No other lender comes close to that level of client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage. It gives our clients a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online in minutes. No one else has anything like it. And our people. Each one of our 17,000-plus team members throughout Detroit, Cleveland, and Phoenix provides absolute client satisfaction each and every day. So why would you go anywhere else to get your mortgage? Go to America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
The number one fear amongst retirees today is running out of money in retirement. And that's with good reason. Because the last thing you want to be is 75 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. Today, we're living longer than ever before, so your retirement savings has to last 2, 3, even 4 decades. So how do you safely generate more income in retirement without risking everything you've worked for in the stock market? And what can you do to help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answer's in our free retirement income planning packet. It's packed full of little-known strategies on how to generate income in retirement, getting the most from Social Security, minimize taxes, and reduce the risk of outliving your income. You don't need to take unnecessary risks to generate income in retirement, and I'll prove it to you. You have a lot more options to generate income in retirement. You just didn't know they existed until now. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742, right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Updating the information we have on the Las Vegas shooter. More information coming out, of course, to build the profile and try and get to something approximating a motive for, of course, the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. One of the things we found out over the weekend, Amy, is that note that was on the desk that was pictured, is that a suicide note? Does that tell us anything? It told us something. It told him that he was calculating in his massacre. It showed angles and calculations of where he would have to shoot in order to hit the targets 32 floors below.
I mean, the trajectory, the wind speed, he calculated that, all the bullet drop. I mean, all of that he calculated in. So that's what was on that note. You know, some thought it was a suicide note at first. No, an escape route, how he's going to get out. No, that there are actual calculations.
Right.
So another just proof that he completely, methodically planned this massacre.
And then there's the story about this prostitute that he patronized.
Wait, Mary Lou, I don't know if she knows that he was cheating on her.
Yeah, I think that's the least of the problems with him that she has to concern herself with. But
wow, this is disturbing.
So this Las Vegas prostitute came forward, 27-year-old, unidentified. This is a story from the Daily Mail. And she talked about him bragging about having bad blood, quote-unquote bad blood, referencing his father being, of course, a bank robber and a convicted felon. She also said that if he had a winning streak at the tables, he would take her back to his room for, quote, really aggressive and violent sex, unquote, including living out rape fantasies.
Yeah, he would tie her up and then he'd make her scream as if she was getting raped.
So,
which is creepy.
So, maybe we're starting to have a motive come into focus. And that motive is that, he just hated people. I mean, you have rape fantasies, that's hatred.
Yeah, that's about power and control, too. I mean, he was
hatred, though. Yeah, hatred, right? I mean, the rage comes from a place of hatred.
Right, but I kept thinking, is hatred, are you born with hatred in your heart? Does he have a bad gene because his dad, was a bank robber and escaped jail and had a bad gene, or does it develop over time?
Well, the other thing, too, yeah, I mean,
you didn't have a male figure growing up?
64 years old, lived a life, working in various professional capacities.
He was smart.
It's strange, but the whole kind of talk about having bad blood, it almost sounds like somebody who
wants to prove has daddy issues and prove that he could do something bigger and badder than his dad.
Something like that. Something like making a mark in this life. If he had such hatred for people, which is obvious from what he did, but I mean, it starts to become obvious that this is the animating factor from how he interacted with people prior to the massacre, right?
And just complete disrespect for women.
Right. And so but something else too here, does one addiction feed another addiction, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not. But so he's a professional gambler.
Yeah, gambled about $1 million a year. That's what the authorities said.
He is, I don't want to say It's not a sex addict, but it's the indulging prostitutes, and particularly the way that's being described. Does one addiction and another addiction feed, other bad behavior? Does it fuel taking it to the next level with respect to crossing over into violence?
Well, that prostitute also told investigators that he was a conspiracy theorist who believed that the U.S. government, was in charge of the 9/11 terror attacks, that they masterminded that.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the other things here too is, do we have a situation where there is, and this would be interesting. I assume they'll do an autopsy, and they'll make public those results. Was there any onset of mental illness? Was there a physical mental deterioration? And that's why 64 years, nothing had ever happened 64 years old. There's a lot of people that engage in bad acts out there that have addictions. But, of course, crossing over into doing what he did, that is such a leap. It's just very difficult to fathom. And I don't pretend to have my arms around it any better than anybody else does. But you're just starting to get more of a picture of this guy.
They interviewed about 1,000 people. One who worked at the Atlantis Casino Resort and Spa in Reno said they had a God complex. He expected to be weighted on hand and foot because he was such a high roller and gambled so much. But they said a lot of times he'd come in, he looked disheveled, had bags under his eye, his hair was a mess. He didn't keep up himself.
Well, and part of this, too, is now going forward, prevention and a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking with the eye towards preventing something like this in the future. Of course, you're always going to try and respond to the last attack, especially if it's a new way that someone committed an act of, in this case, domestic terrorism or an act of terrorism of any sort, mass shootings of any sort, mass killings of any sort. And so Steve Wynn was on with Chris Wallace over the weekend talking about the security protocols at Wynn Properties and what he had done over the last couple of years to develop a counterterrorism strategy, because he believed Vegas was a target, and obviously hotels are soft targets. So is there a way that you can harden soft targets like hotels and other public places of accommodation here, Steve Wynn? Describing what he did.
Basically, we had to recruit and expand security by tens of millions of dollars to cover every entrance to retrain the entire workforce from housekeeping and room service, and people are in the tower and observing people. We had to cover every exit and every aspect of the building to see if we could identify and preempt any kind of terroristic or violent action. It's never perfect, of course, but what you can do, to use local vernacular, you can change the odds, I guess.
Yeah, change the odds. And he talks about, too, like the wanding that we reported last week that was going on at the Wynn after they attacked. So that's not going to be something that is permanent. They spend more time profiling people.
Right.
So more taking like the Israeli approach of, yes, we'll have scanners and magnetometers and that sort of thing. We're not going to have the
TSA style.
Yeah, we're not going to wand everybody just walking into the hotel. But there are things that we can do in addition to the wanding in certain parts of the hotel for certain events, going to the clubs, for example. And Wynn, kind of continued on that track, also mentioning the do not disturb protocol that they have at the Wynn that wasn't necessarily present at Mandalay Bay.
There are a couple of things in retrospect, and it's always good to look over your shoulder on these things, but we have a routine with housekeeping, with room service, with audio-visual, anybody that goes in the room to do an inspection. We also have rules about do not disturb. If a room goes on do not disturb for more than 12 hours, we investigate. We don't allow guns in this building unless they're being carried by our employees, and there's a lot of them. But if anybody's got a gun, and we find them continually, that would have triggered a whole bunch of alarms here. And we would have, on behalf of the guest, of course, investigated for safety. And it would have been a provocative situation. I'm sure that the same is true at other hotels, but in this hotel, a 36-hour, a 24-hour, a 36-hour do not disturb on a room is a predicate for investigation.
So well, then I'd get investigated all the time because I never want anybody in my room.
Yeah, but 12 hours, are you in your room for 12 hours at a time?
No, well, no.
Right, so that's the point. I mean, and it's an investigation isn't they send, a tactical team. It's a knock on the door. But it's interesting. So that was one of the aspects of this that went underreported was that Mandalay Bay apparently was kind of holed up in that hotel room for 24 to 36 hours without any check. So Wynn made the distinction saying, look, he carried all those guns in 10 suitcases at various times. That wouldn't necessarily triggered anything. Because, you have people in conventions, they've got equipment. I mean, so that wouldn't necessarily trigger anything, the piecemeal bringing in of the suitcases to the room. But the do not disturb piece of it could have prompted an investigation. So it's just something to consider. This isn't blaming the Mandalay Bay. It's just trying to think best practices here that balance the kind of interests of the hotels in addition to the patrons against the security interests, right? Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I've read so many comments online and on Twitter that, gosh, this guy had everything. He had money, he had property, he had women. What could possibly be wrong? And what people are overlooking is that in this society, we have so marginalized kindness and marginalized the things that really value and place this tremendous value on money, property. How could anything be wrong in life if you have cash? And
status too. Status as well.
Status. Right, exactly. And a couple of weeks ago you did a story about boys gone adrift.
Right.
And this is society gone adrift. This is men gone adrift. Now he could be psycho from his dad or whatever, but nonetheless he exhibited behaviors that this world values, people strive for. And the whole spiritual bankruptcy issue is just left to float along as well. Love is whatever. So it just seems like he had it all to the world that values that kind of thing. We live in a fallen world.
Thanks for the call, Holly.
Yeah, there's no trace at all of religion. I mean, they checked to see if there was baptismal records, if, they've talked to his brother, his mom, and there was no God in his life.
The other thing, and it picks up on what you just said and what Holly said too, is what we do where, hey, whatever. Anything goes. If it's consenting adults, hey, I don't make judgments. So he's a frequenter of prostitutes. And
He was with one the night before, but they said that, leading up to the hours of the massacre, that Sunday, Dan, he was with a prostitute, but they said she had nothing to do with, the shooting, but he was with her.
And so what would we say about prostitution? A lot of people say victimless crime. And yet the conduct that we just described that he engaged in with the prostitute who's come forward, does that set off any concerns? I think it does. And so, the idea of just turning a blind eye to everything and not making any judgments, these are moral judgments, not like laws. Oh, pass a law, rescind a law. Just moral judgments about what kind of society you want to live in. And when you don't extol those things that are virtuous, you're less likely to get virtuous conduct.
His brother said that he was the king of microaggression, and he would recall how he'd always carry around a cigar even though he didn't smoke, but if somebody wronged him, he would light up the cigar and blow smoke in their face.
Yeah, I mean, so this cauldron of rage inside of him that manifested itself in unproductive ways. Bob and Lyle, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. I've been going over this in my mind. The TV programs never asked the questions originally. Was this guy a Christian? Was he a Muslim? Was his wife a Muslim? And there's other things that are wrong here. I mean, this guy could have been a political terrorist. Everybody knows everybody's political views. I know your views. I know Amy's
radio show, yeah.
And how could you hide that? I think that this guy was a political terrorist, and there's a lot of things that kind of lead a person to think that way.
Well,
and I honestly believe that people like ISIS, these different terrorist groups, are claiming something on this guy, and I think that we shouldn't overlook that.
Well, they did.
My own personal opinion.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Yeah, I mean,
But police came out Friday in their press conference, and said that he's not affiliated at all, to the best of their knowledge, with any terrorist group.
Yeah, and we have also had a former assistant director of the FBI and Ambassador Bolton suggest that to make such a definitive statement at early stages of the investigation is improper. Yeah, do the entire investigation, get as much information as you think you'll ever be able to cobble together, and then present it all definitively, rather than making a pronouncement about one possible motive and not pronouncements on all of the motives because you're this early in the investigation. Now, it's been reported there's, the rumors about him having recently converted to Islam. There's no evidence to support that claim. So fine, I'm not suggesting it is, but let's leave open questions open until you're confident that you can close them. There's one other bit of information that came out this week. Now, the headline was a little bit misleading.
No, there's no misleading headlines.
I mean, he visited the Middle East. Yes, he visited the Middle East, but it was one of 20 cruises
right,
that he took that had stops in Spain and Italy, Greece, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates. So there's no evidence that it was like he got radicalized on a cruise. It was he was enjoying the good life, and he could pay for cruises on which I think half of them that girlfriend Danley
she went with,
accompanied him around the world. I mean, so that's not a connection to that theory of terrorism, of Islamist terrorism relation.
But the only thing I'm worried about is that ISIS and members of different radicalized groups are going to see what he did and study that and then repeat it, have a copycat crime.
Well, I mean, it's like the trucks.
Yeah.
In Nice and then England. It's like, usually what they've been doing is going low tech because it's even more difficult to stop low tech in public spaces.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And kudos to Chicago police and Chicago firefighters. They did an excellent job keeping the runners and the crowd safe during the Chicago Marathon. There were snowplow equipment, Dan, on every single corner, so no trucks were getting through.
In case Oprah careened off the course and into the crowd.
In case you pushed her because you wanted to beat her. Today, mostly sunny, very warm, a high
surprisingly quick.
A high of 80 degrees. You got to stretch that out today after running that marathon. Breaking land speed records over there, huh? 76 degrees for game time. 3 o'clock start for game 3 of the division series. And then tonight, the Bears-Vikings game. 66 degrees at game time. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, are they still cleaning up around Columbus and Balboa? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, thanks, Amy and Dan. Yes, they're cleaning up, but the roads are also open again. Columbus has reopened entirely through the Grant Park area. It had been closed still between Roosevelt and Balboa, and also Balboa and Jackson have reopened. So remarkably quickly, everything is open again through Grant Park, much quicker than it would be had this been, say, post-Lollapalooza. We do have delays on Metra's BNSF line this morning. Train 1208 is due downtown at 6:38, still stopped near Aurora. There's a mechanical failure. Eden's just 20 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy heavy from the River O'Toole to Austin with a crash in the left lane. So it's heavy at 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 38. Heavy on westbound 190 as well. The Eisenhower, this Columbus stage, 35 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 39 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 20 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, lighter than normal. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself against colds and viruses, but do you know how to protect your computer network? Ransomware, viruses, hacks, intrusions can cripple your company's computer network, stopping business in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Can your data be restored easily? If not, you need to make an appointment with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT provides frontline security for your network and its data, so if there's an email attachment opened in error or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and remedies the situation. They'll arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring software systems to stop virus outbreaks before they have a chance to spread. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against this season's worst bugs. So see what a dose of Turnkey's proactive support can do for you. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
This is an important message for Chicagoland business owners. If you own or rent your building, chances are you're paying more than your fair share of property taxes. Ask yourself this question. If you could lower your property taxes with the help of licensed professionals who have an 80% average success rate, yes, you heard that right, an 80% success rate, lowering business owners' property taxes, would you do that? Corporate Valuation Advisors has reduced their clients' property taxes on average 20% over their 25-year service history throughout the greater Chicagoland area. Here's a Corporate Valuation Advisor's recent property tax savings success story from a local Chicago business owner. First-year property tax savings, $26,265. Total 4-year property tax savings of $104,679. Call Corporate Valuation Advisors. They can help at 833-FAIR-TAX. That's 833-FAIR-TAX. You can also find them at yourfairtax.com or by visiting am560theanswer.com and looking for the Corporate Valuation Advisors banner, or type in Fair Tax in the search area.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's a wonderful product. I mean, it's an absolute wonderful product. I'm so grateful that I heard about it. Yeah. And at first I didn't take, I didn't take it faithfully. I'd forget. And then I'd say about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I really started taking it right. And what a difference. What a difference.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Christian Faith Publishing helps thousands of authors just like you publish their books with a company dedicated to strong Christian values. To help you get started, we want to send you our free author submission kit. Christian Faith Publishing reviews every book submitted to us, and if your book is approved, we'll edit, design, copyright protect, print, and distribute your book online and in bookstores everywhere. Imagine seeing your book in specialty Christian bookstores, Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Noble, and many others. It could happen, and it all starts with one call to Christian Faith Publishing at 800-566-1012 for your free author submission kit. If you have a novel, children's book, poetry, biography, or any inspirational work you've written, we can help you get it published today. Shouldn't you work with a publisher who shares your Christian values of integrity and honesty? You can get your book published. So call for your free author submission kit right now. Call 800-566-1012. That's 800-566-1012. 800-566-1012.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-900-5338. That's 1-800-900-5338. 1-800-900-5338.
AM 560, The Answer.
Ivana on 60 Minutes, huh?
Yeah, well, she was CBS Sunday Morning. She's got a new book out called Raising Trump, and basically she takes credits for the president's success. And she talks to him once a week, and she gives him advice about tweeting, because he always says, you know, should I stop tweeting? She's like, no, keep on tweeting, keep on being yourself.
Is he still a big part of your life?
Yeah, he is. He is.
In what way?
Well, we speak to each other.
How often?
Yeah, maybe once a week.
He asks for your advice?
And he's still asking me for advice, yes.
What will he ask you your advice about?
He asked me about, should I tweet, should I not tweet? I said, I think you should tweet. It's a new way, new technology, and if you want to get your words across rightly without telling the New York Times, which is going to twist every single word of yours, this is how you get your message out.
Well, she's very level-headed. He offered her the ambassadorship to the Czech Republic. She said no because she likes her lifestyle.
Ivana, I think maybe a White House spokesman job for Ivana is pretty good.
She's good, but this is how they met back in the day.
Say, I'm so sorry. My name is Donald Trump, and I can see the girls you are looking for the table. And I turned to my girlfriend and said, I have a good news and bad news. What is the good news? You're going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? This fellow behind me is going to go and sit with us.
Yes.
And then they fell in love, and remember, then they got married and they went on the Oprah show. Remember this clip?
We showed her a nearly 30-year-old clip from Oprah.
We get along very well, and there's not a lot of disagreement because ultimately Ivana does exactly as I tell her to do.
All right. Hold on for a second. You're still laughing, but you heard the audience. A lot of groans.
Well, I don't really care, you know.
Did you feel that was disrespectful?
Maybe it was, you know, but it didn't bother me.
Okay. I mean, nobody has a sense of humor. It's joking around. Ivana sounds like she's her own woman. I'm sure she was back then. She still is. And it's interesting that they have such a good relationship.
Oh, it's wonderful. And it's good for the kids, too. And she still hates Marla Maples. We're not going to get into that. But she is dating younger men. And you have to hear why. This is fantastic.
You do like the energy of a younger man.
Yes.
This is good.
Yes, I'd rather be a babysitter than a nursemaid. And I don't need to worry about the bad knee and bad back and Viagra and all that stuff. So.
Wow.
Isn't that? I mean, she was very candid.
New cougar icon, Ivana Trump. I'd rather be a babysitter than a nurse. Okay.
Fantastic. First time she's spoken. by the first time she spoke since he became president. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk tax cuts and where they stand on the Hill with Jimmy Pethokoukis from CNBC at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Good Columbus Day to Mike Scott.
59 degrees outside. How about we stay with economics? How about the Nobel Prize in Economics awarded this morning to a Chicago professor, a University of Chicago professor, American economist Richard Thaler wins the Nobel Prize in Economics. He's a 72-year-old professor at the University of Chicago. National Rifle Association this morning says the Las Vegas shootings a week ago were evil, the shooter likely modifying his gun using those so-called bump stocks, enabling the gun to fire rounds more quickly.
Well, what we've called for is for ATF to review any device that changes semi-automatics to function like fully automatics.
NRA Executive Director Chris Cox on Fox News Sunday. Meantime, Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy highly critical of President Trump's decision over the weekend to end the Iran nuclear deal crafted by the Obama administration.
The president is about to impose on himself and this country a dramatic self-inflicted wound, because by pulling out of this agreement, Iran will go back onto a path to develop a nuclear weapon.
Meantime, Senator Bob Corker, a Republican, is not letting up on the president. The Tennessee senator and the president have been going at each other since the president tweeted yesterday that Corker didn't have the guts to run for re-election. Corker tweeting back that the White House has become an adult daycare center. We're watching the remnants of Hurricane Nate, now a tropical depression that continues to soak the southeast. More than 100,000 lost power as the storm slammed the Gulf Coast and moved north. Crews cleaning up from a house fire in Batavia. No word on injuries this morning. Deadly shootings continue to add up in Chicago. A man shot to death Friday, the 500th person to be killed in the city in gun violence in 2017. Cubs and Nationals meeting Game 3 of the NLDS today at Wrigley Field. Mitchell Trubisky era starts for the Bears tonight. Monday Night Football at Soldier Field as the Bears play host to the Vikings. Blackhawks begin a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs. Pelicans beat the Bulls in the NBA preseason. Playoff baseball, Yankees and Red Sox both stay alive. The Dodgers will try and finish off a 3-game sweep of the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Galen Rupp earns our congratulations this morning as the first American-born runner to win the Chicago Marathon. 35 years. He did so on Sunday in 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 20 seconds. The news is a service of Staples. Staples knows that when the only printer in your office that's not out of ink is 3 flights up the stairs, it's time. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print, like buy one HP ink and get the second at 30% off. Ends 10/14. Restrictions apply. See store or staples.com for details. Staples, it's pro time. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains how the media works.
This is what happens in the media. This is so important to understand. Something is reported, and if the media pick it up, then they amplify it. And after they amplify it, everybody believes it. So they really are an echo chamber. They say X, everybody believes X, and then they report X as if it is a given.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, CERTA, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
6:35. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy Expressway is heavy due to an earlier crash at Austin. It's 35 minutes, so here to downtown. Fine once you get past that earlier crash. See? Outbound, heavy as well. 47 minutes downtown to O'Hare, just 13 to get to Montrose. And it's stop and go on 190 westbound from the Kennedy to the Tri-State. Eden, it's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower, Thorndale to the post office, 35 minutes, outbound at 33. On the Stevenson inbound, you get delays starting at Central. 40 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 16. Northbound 53 is heavy Thorndale to Beesterfield after a crash. Traffic. It's a service of Napa Auto Parts. Buy a Napa reusable bag today for just 99 cents, and you'll get 20% off nearly anything that fits inside. From spark plugs to air fresheners to oil filters, all 20% off. Quality parts. Helpful people. That's Napa know-how. While supplies last, exclusions apply. Minimum 3 items. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny, warm, high near 80 today. Currently 54 at O'Hare, 59 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
The hypocrites scatter when I shine the bright light of reason. I'm Larry Elder. Join me tonight at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Interesting, over the weekend, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Saying Graham Cassidy not dead. Republicans, some Republicans at least, still holding out hope of some sort of half measure of Obamacare replace. For more on that and a status check on tax reform, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Jim Pethokoukis, who is a CNBC contributor and a columnist for the American Enterprise Institute and a Jeopardy champion. You know, he gets really persnickety if you don't mention he's a Jeopardy champion.
Yeah, and don't kick the bear.
Jim, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
You begin this conversation with a terrible falsehood, Sam. Terrible falsehood. Thank you for having me on this.
Which about a chance for some sort of half a measure on Obamacare replace? That falsehood?
Jeopardy's a falsehood. That, I think, is probably wishful thinking.
Yes.
I think there will continue to be these sorts of efforts. But I don't know. The president at one point seemed to be talking to Democrats, Chuck Schumer, about doing something that may have also fallen through, since he seems to be backtracking on his commitment on the Dreamers. So that, to me, healthcare really remains in limbo.
And on tax reform, what's your handle on tax reform as it's winnowing its way through the hill?
Yeah, I sort of can't bring myself to believe they would not get this done, given how important it is. I think just near-term politically, but also given that the modern Republican Party has been built around tax reform, or tax cuts at least. And so my guess is there still would be some sort of tax cut happening, not nearly the size that Republicans, including the president, have been talking about over the past year or two, but some sort of tax cut, parts of which will be permanent, parts of which will be temporary, but not the sort of thing which I believe would, fundamentally change the direction or pace of the American economy.
Well, okay, so as you narrowly lost the Nobel Prize in Economics to Robert Thaler, so I want to get your economics take on the proposal. You're suggesting that it will not, even if it was passed in substantial form to what the president proposed, that's not going to unleash the creative energies of the American people?
I don't think they're going to get through a tax cut anywhere that big. There's no sign what's happening in the Senate that it would be as big a tax cut as that. So we're talking about a smaller tax cut. Some middle class tax relief, probably more business tax reform, but nothing huge. So yeah, maybe will help growth at the margins? Sure. But I think just in general, to think that there is a tax plan out there that if only we implemented it, that this economy would start growing 50% faster. I think that's just putting too much weight on one sort of policy lever, and not thinking more broadly about what we need to do more longer term. Too much focus on the short term, not a focus on the long term.
Well, what do lawmakers need to do to, kickstart and grow the economy?
Listen, the biggest problem with the economy, there's two big problems. One, we're not growing the labor force as fast as we used to, primarily because of demographic reasons. Those are going to be pretty hard to change. So you need to become way more productive than what we've been in recent years, perhaps as productive as we've ever been in the history of this country. And no, we don't have a magic answer how to do that. Usually it's going to be a combination of things like taxes and regulation and education and better infrastructure, a lot of different things. But there is no magic formula. So we're going to have to move on all fronts over the longer term. But there's been sort of this focus on, we need to have a big tax cut right now. We don't care if it affects the deficit. We're in the middle of a crisis. This isn't a crisis. It could be better, but we have to think longer term and do things the smart way, including not making budget deficits and debt worse.
Okay, so there's obviously a spend side issue as well. So tax and spend policy, the administrative state, and monetary policy. Last week, Janet Yellen, who seems to be in a perpetual state of befuddlement, said that, the Fed's kind of been wrong on employment and inflation, which may result in a course change with respect to monetary policy ahead. What about on the monetary policy side?
Well, I think that the Fed, if anything, has probably been too aggressive in worrying about higher inflation. Inflation really doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Republicans have been very worried over recent years about inflation and dollar collapsing and the debt. None of that seems to have happened. This economy is still adding a lot of jobs. There doesn't seem to be much inflation out there. I think the Fed has been, again, overly worried. So, listen, the worst path they could have taken would be panicking about inflation, which never appeared in the hyperinflation, and start raising rates. So I think the Fed can take it easy. I think the course correction should be doing less, not doing more.
And so, with respect to that, you're talking about the economy still throwing off a lot of jobs. Your interpretation of the September jobs numbers and where you think this is headed.
Yeah, it's still creating lots of jobs. It's hard, yes, the labor market continues to heal. It continues to tighten. That was a crazy job before the hurricane, so it's probably going to take another month or two to really straighten out. But this is an economy that, again, wages rising okay, especially with inflation so low, a lot of jobs. I just don't see the need the Fed to really to act with any kind of real speed here, and just let's let this play out and continue to get people back to work.
I just find it fascinating. The unemployment rate falls, but the September, job losses were only 33,000 jobs in September versus the 90,000 jobs expected. I mean, that's a big difference.
Well, again, when you have these massive sort of weather shocks, everyone's just kind of taking their best guess. So I would throw that report out. You'll probably see it like a huge reversal next month. And remember that these jobs reports, there's also two different really surveys going on. So that's why sometimes you get these weird differences in the numbers. So that's why you have to look at these numbers, sort of in context over the longer term to really identify trends and not get wigged out over one weird report.
All right. He is Jimmy Pethokoukis, CNBC contributor, columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. Jim, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, gang. Bye-bye.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, how about that Dove ad? And Star Wars fans, are you ready for some football? But first, here's your forecast. Mostly sunny today, very warm for one of the best sports day in Chicago. Game time for the Game 3 of the Division Series at Wrigley Field. It'll be 76 degrees for you Cub fans. And then for the Bears-Vikings game tonight, it will be 66 degrees at kickoff. Tomorrow, breezy, not as warm, with some sun, clouds, some rain, and a high of 68 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Happy Columbus Day, Jim Talamonte.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. Much appreciated. Happy Columbus Day. Good morning, Amy and Dan. And we do have in downtown Chicago streets having all reopened now after yesterday's marathon. That sporting event has completed. But again, the traffic issues continue today with the Cubs and the Bears. That's a 3:08 start for the Cubs this afternoon. So plan accordingly. Eden's just 23 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose on this holiday. Outbound 21. Kennedy is heavy at 35 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. A crash at Austin just cleared. The outbound side is 47 minutes downtown to O'Hare. There's plenty of airport traffic. The Eisenhower, 35 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 33. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial slow. Army Trail to 290. Northbound 53 has delays. Again, starting at Army Trail on 355, continuing up to Beesterfield. Earlier crash is cleared. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Federal Reserve signaling interest rate hikes ahead and 1,000 new jobs for the state of Tennessee. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Policymakers at the Federal Reserve back to their old ways, saying they expect to see gradual interest rate hikes in the months ahead. William Dudley of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York says inflation now is below the Fed's long-term objectives, but he says interest rate hikes won't be delayed much longer. Good economic news for Tennessee. Automotive supplier Denso plans to invest $1 billion at its plant in Marysville, creating 1,000 new jobs. The plant expansion will make Denso the primary safety systems maker in North America. Banks are closed in observance of the Columbus Day holiday, but markets are open as usual, and we'll update you on trading activity and our market wrap on most of these same stations. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for one, or give a gift and keep one for yourself. Of course, I'm talking about the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer, because it's back. And I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage by using the promo code Amy. You'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache like I used to. They're made in America, and you can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. Plus, they have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. It's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillows as gifts for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. Promo code Amy, 800-489-0201.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I used to take 7 vitamin supplements, and I still felt sluggish at times. But with Balance of Nature, I don't feel sluggish at all. Don't do what I did. I took 7 different supplements, vitamin supplements, and they really didn't help in the long run. I still felt sluggish. But with Balance Nature, I have the extra boost of energy, and I thank you all again. I really, really mean it.
What are you waiting for?
Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND.
Message and data rates may apply.
Warning, texting while driving is illegal just about everywhere. So if you want to take advantage of a life-changing LASIK offer, pull over when you can, because a special opportunity is just one text away. The LASIK Vision Institute is offering absolutely free evaluations and dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK. Text the keyword VALUE to 350350 to get the benefit of FDA-approved LASIK technology that gives the majority of patients 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Text to schedule your free appointment to see if LASIK is right for you. When you text VALUE to 350350, you'll also get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Today, it's your turn. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you've always wanted for a fraction of what others charge. This great offer is just a text away. Text VALUE to 350350. That's VALUE to 350350.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. That's 1-800-400-7011. 1-800-400-7011.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, a little campus beat. Why don't we start at Michigan State?
Spartans.
Yeah, big upset at Michigan over this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
And fighting, I love it.
The alma mater of my sister.
What, at Michigan State?
Yeah, I couldn't get into Northwestern.
Oh, my. You know what? That is so I want to smack.
That's what Northwestern students do.
I want to smack
we're
you
rude and
for
arrogant.
saying that.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what? You all end up being my bosses. Oh, no matter where I've worked. I don't even have to ask. Let me guess. You went to Northwestern.
Yeah. So a racial incident at Michigan State.
Well, I'll decide if it's racial.
Oh, yeah.
Me, because you know me.
A noose in a dormitory on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's not
The Michigan State president, Lou Anna Simon, very distressed to learn of a racial incident in one of our residence halls. Student reported a noose was hung outside of her room. I want to recognize the courage it took for the student to report this incident, said Michigan State University president.
Okay,
this type of behavior is not tolerated on our campus, she continued with her Jeremiah. No Spartan should ever feel targeted based on their race or other ways in which they identify. A noose is a symbol of intimidation and threat that has a horrendous history in America, except the noose was a shoelace.
It was what?
Yeah.
A shoelace.
Later in the day, Michigan State Police announced the noose, not a noose, it was a shoelace. They located its owner. Oh, I'm so glad the shoelace and his owner could be reunited.
Where was the shoe? No, they reunited the shoelace with the shoe, right?
The shoelace found inside the residence hall was not directed at any individual, said a university spokesman. It originally was seen on a hallway floor and later on a stairwell door handle where officers believe someone put it after picking it up, so somebody could retrieve their shoelace.
Right.
But this is what happens when you're looking for racism everywhere. You see it everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, you'll think I'm going to take advantage of this situation.
Yeah, so there's what's going on in the Big Ten. What's going on in the Colonial Conference, William and Mary. Ooh, boy, ACLU learning a tough lesson, taking one on the chin. Campus Black Lives Matter protest against an ACLU speaker has generated concern on the left. Wait a second. They can shout down conservative speakers on campus, but a representative from the ACLU? No.
They got shot down by BLM?
Both of them. Black Lives Matter protesting against an ACLU speaker at William and Mary, chanting liberalism is white supremacy. ACLU, you protect Hitler too. See, they're paying attention. The ACLU, I know they're mostly focused on protecting abortion on demand, but they also occasionally chime in for First Amendment rights, and that doesn't set well with the totalitarians of the left, whether they be in the BLM form or the Antifa form. And so the ACLU gets it too, and boy, this comes as a surprise to the left that totalitarianism spares few, except the totalitarians. By the way, just quickly.
What color was the shoelace?
It was leather. That's all I know. I'm sure there'll be a full, investigation of the investigation of the shoelace news. Yale tour group visiting a Havana restaurant is the premise of The Cuban Affair, new novel by Nelson DeMille, best-selling author who wrote General's Daughter and other books that have been optioned into movies. So there's a good interview of Mr. DeMille in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, and he talks about purposely using a Yale tour group in Havana to make a comment about what's happened on college campuses, the complete lack of free thought and groupthink omnipresent. So it's just interesting to check that out as well as part of our Campus Beat segment.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Banning bump stocks. Should we? We'll ask John Lott Jr., noted criminologist, at 7:07.
And later, Senator Corker destroys Trump on Twitter. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Another University of Chicago professor wins the Nobel Prize. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
The anthem controversy isn't going away. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just tweeted his vice president is receiving great praise for walking out of yesterday's Colts NFL game when 23 San Francisco 49ers took a knee during the national anthem. The president says it shows such disrespect for country. But 49er Eric Reed, one of those kneeling, called the VP's move a PR stunt, saying it's what systemic oppression looks like. Dallas owner Jerry Jones said last night players who kneel won't play for him.
There is no question in my mind that the National Football League and the Dallas Cowboys are going to stand up for the flag.
President Trump's attached some strings to his offer to Congress to sign a DACA extension. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump is pushing for tough immigration policies. On his wish list, overhauling the country's green card system, cracking down on unaccompanied minors, and building his promised wall along the southern border. Democratic leaders say the administration's list of proposals fail to represent any attempt at compromise. President Trump ended the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program and gave Congress 6 months to come up with a workable plan for illegal immigrants brought to America by their parents. Dave.
Rachel, the lights dimmed on the Las Vegas Strip last night. Casino marquees went dark for about 10 minutes, marking the time of the shooting spree a week ago.
So many guns, so many magazines, stacks and stacks of magazines everywhere.
He's one of the SWAT officers talking to CBS 60 Minutes about what they saw when they burst into the dead gunman's hotel room. Authorities have searched Stephen Paddock's home again, still seeking a motive. Wildfires are scorching wine country in California.
We were driving out of the driveway as the fire was coming down the other side of the hill.
Fires are burning out of control this morning in Napa and Sonoma counties, prompting evacuations. Harvey Weinstein's been fired by his brother and other board members of the company he co-founded. The famed Hollywood producer let go amid a firestorm over decades of alleged sexual harassment. Fox News, fair and balanced.
54 degrees officially at O'Hare at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott, and we wake up this morning to another Nobel Prize in economics going to the University of Chicago. Noted American economist Richard Thaler, winner of the prize, the 72-year-old, is honored for his contributions to behavioral economics. An investigation is underway after police found a dead person responding to a fire on Chicago's South Side. Officers discovered the body early this morning on the third floor of an apartment building near 79th and Greenwood. A Chicago man accused of vandalizing a Christopher Columbus statue over the weekend in the city's Little Italy neighborhood. Kyle Miskill appeared in court yesterday on charges of criminal damage to government property. Authorities are calling the death of a 1-month-old girl in Chicago a homicide. Toriella Turpin died at a nearby hospital after she was found unresponsive Saturday and then transported from her home near 67th and Southeast End. Cubs and Nationals meet in Game 3 of the NLDS early at Wrigley Field. Cubs skipper Joe Maddon says despite losing over the weekend, he's happy with how his team has played so far.
Yeah, there's an upside and a downside. Of course, you'd like to be going home 2-0. We played so well for 2 days. I cannot be happier than I am with our group right now.
Nats doubled up the Cubs 6-3 Saturday in Game 2 of that series. Chicago sports, Blackhawks start a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs. Along the lakefront, the Mitchell Trubisky era begins for the Bears. Monday Night Football as they play host to the Vikings. Pelicans beat the Bulls in NBA preseason action 108-95. The News is a service of Staples. Staples has solutions to keep your business safe and protected. Keep your tech and data safe, backed up, and protected from viruses. Now, get a free security check for your PC at Staples. Details are in-store or at staples.com/security. In-store only, ends 10/28. Staples. It's pro time. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe what he's seeing out of Hollywood.
I want to thank Trump for making black people #1 on the most oppressed list.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't care about these people. I'm only playing it for you so you get a taste and a feel for what vitriol and hatred just exists out there for this president. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. You already know rates are low. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. Question: who are you going to call to save serious money on your mortgage or buy a new home? Are you going to call the company with the best client service in America with 11 J.D. Power Awards to prove it? No other lender comes close to that level of client satisfaction. Are you going to call the company with Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative technology? It gives our clients a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online in minutes. No one else has anything like it. Are you going to call the company that's helping to rebuild the great cities of Detroit and Cleveland? Question: why would you call anyone other than Quicken Loans? Call Call 800-QUICKEN right now or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
It is 7:05. Let's get an update on that morning commute. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. It's a holiday for some, and the travel times reflect that. The Edens runs just 21 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Inbound Kennedy has delays from Canfield to Lawrence and Irving Park to California, 31 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 14 from Montrose, 11 on the Express. Outbound 12 minutes to Montrose and 41 to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at 17th Avenue, 36 minutes Thorndale to downtown. Outbound, there's a jam because of a crash on northbound 53 at Beesterfield. We were told this is cleared. It has not. 2 left lanes are blocked. Got heavy delays on the Eisenhower extension starting at Wooddale Road. So it's 57 minutes post office to Thorndale, just 20 to get to Manheim. Inbound, the Ike from Thorndale to downtown is 36 minutes. Now the delays on northbound 355 because of that crash at Beesterfield, they start around Army Trail Avenue, actually around North Avenue. It's heavy from North Avenue all the way up to Beesterfield. On the inbound Stevenson, travel time 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Up on 39, Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny and very warm, high 80. Mild tonight with patchy clouds, low 58. Tomorrow, breezy and cooler with some sun, giving way to clouds with a shower in the area late in the afternoon, high 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
54 officially at O'Hare. It is 60 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, over the weekend on the Sunday Talkies, NRA execs were present and accounted for. Face the Nation, the NRA's Wayne LaPierre squared off against Senator Difey on the issue of new law being promulgated by Democrats to ban the so-called bump stocks. Here's Wayne LaPierre on just the nature of the politicization of the Vegas massacre.
There are menaces out there every day. People want to be able to protect themselves. That's why they support this freedom. All the elites that have been speaking out this past week, they all want to protect themselves. They all protect themselves with armed security. I mean, they criticize the NRA. You want to talk about irresponsible use of firearms? The number one person teaching irresponsible use of firearms is all these elites' employer. The Hollywood, television, gaming industry. We spend millions teaching responsible use of firearms. They make billions every single day, John, teaching irresponsible use of firearms. They're so hypocritical, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the hypocrisy abounds, there's no question. LaPierre on the question, though, of whether or not the NRA supports the ban on bump stocks that's been proposed.
If I'm a Republican and I'm a fan of the NRA, do I want to say no or yes to legislation that does this?
I think you want to tell ATF to do its job. It's an interpretive issue, and they need to get the job done. But not let Dianne Feinstein, which is what she wants to do, turn this all into some Christmas tree on the Hill where she brings all her anti-gun circus she's been trying to do for years into this.
Yeah, Chris Cox, the executive director of the NRA, said similar on Chris Wallace's program, Fox News Sunday. And to Wayne LaPierre's point, here's what Dianne Feinstein said, also on Face the Nation, about whether any law would have prevented what happened in Vegas.
Could there have been any law passed that would have stopped him?
No. He passed background checks registering for handguns and other weapons on multiple occasions.
So if no law could have prevented the Vegas massacre, then why are we talking about a new gun law? We put that question to our friend John Lott Jr., noted criminologist, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, and author of The War on Guns, as well as More Guns, Less Crime. John, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
It's nice to talk to you again.
So what about that? How did you assess the answers from Cox and LaPierre about this being an interpretive issue, the bump stocks? This is for ATF to make an administrative decision if there's something that, like a bump stock, that can make a semi-auto function like an auto. And also their second point, that the whole talk of banning this or banning that misses the mark.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess part of the irony is that the bump stocks were originally approved at the beginning of the Obama administration. Look, I have no problem banning those types of devices. I would only caution that it's not going to produce any types of miracles that people think. You have a relatively simple device that somebody with a machine shop is going to be able to go and put together. And, it's kind of like the discussions we've been having in the past about magazine bans, banning magazines more than 10 bullets, or New York tried to ban them for more than 7 bullets. And that is, a magazine, for example, is a box with a spring in it. I've seen people be able to put one together in like 2 minutes with the machine press. And so, it'd be nice to be able to go and say that these types of rules are going to stop somebody from doing something. But here in Las Vegas, we had a guy who wired his car with ammonium nitrate. He also had other flammable explosives apparently inside the car that were apparently very strong. He had, all we know is a lot of homemade bombs that they discovered in his home.
But specifically,
so this guy, obviously had some technical abilities to be able to go and do things. And I'm not sure how you stop somebody who has those types of skill from making, other weapons to go and kill people, whether they be the parts that he would need for a gun or these other explosives.
But logistically speaking, if he had not had the bump stocks in his hotel room and using them, don't you think more people would be alive?
Look, as I say, I'm happy to ban them. All I'm saying is this guy had a fair amount of technical skills. And the notion that he couldn't have made, even if you banned them, even if you had different administrative decisions made during the Obama administration on these, he could have made them himself. These are not things that require greater technical skill than it did for him to go and make the types of bombs that apparently he had made his car into, or that he had in his home.
Well, and the issue too is, look, I mean, much like you can read books or watch videos on bomb making online, you can also watch videos that provide instruction on doing homemade bump stocks. So, I mean, this is the thing, and here's why the Dems, even with DiFi conceding that no law would have prevented this, here's what the Dems are actually doing, and Wayne LaPierre is right to look ahead. They want to use the bump stock, as leverage to get more gun bans that they want. This is what's happening at the state level in Illinois. Mike Scott reporting it on his newscast. Marty Moylan, this hack Dem state rep from the north suburbs, trying to seize on people's emotions. And he's talking about banning bump stocks at the state level in Illinois, but also, quote unquote, assault weapons, as Marty Moylan determines them. So this is an opportunity for Dems to bust through the door now that it's ajar over this bump stock issue.
Yeah, look, after this case, as we've seen others, we had people within a few hours of the attack calling for a whole range of gun control laws that they had no idea whether they were relevant or not for this attack. You had many people, for example, calling for background checks on private transfers of guns. And yet, and they've done that after other ones. President Obama, in each of his talks he gave on mass public shootings, that was the one law he called for in each case. But yet, it was irrelevant to this. It was irrelevant to each and every one of the attacks that President Obama talked about during his administration. It would be irrelevant for attacks before him. But they have a list of types of laws they want to have that wouldn't have had anything to do with the attacks that they're using to motivate these laws that are there. And if you want to go and ban some semi-automatic guns based on how they look, which is the assault weapons ban that they keep pushing, rather than, at least you can talk about banning all semi-automatic guns. At least there would be some logic to that, rather than just some, style, military styles, the key word there, which basically refers to how they look on the outside.
Not how they function, right.
Right. And there'd be some logic there, but I know they don't want to go there because Americans know they benefit in terms of their own defense from having semi-automatics. There's three types of guns. There's manually loaded guns, where one pull the trigger, you have to physically put another bullet in the chamber yourself. Semi-automatic, which is one pull the trigger, bullet fires, automatically reloads, one pull the trigger, one bullet out, and so on. Or fully auto, which you pull the trigger, and as long as it's pressed, bullets are going to be coming out. And I can give you lots of cases where civilians have to fire more than one shot. And if you miss on your first shot, or you fire a warning shot, or you have more than one person attacking you, people may not have the luxury of going and taking the time to manually reload their gun in order to be able to defend themselves.
Well, what's the history, though, the bump stocks, and why were they legalized in the first place?
Well, you've had bump stock type devices available for a while, but the actual ones that were out for sale basically started during the Obama administration, and the Obama administration approved them as not being an automatic weapon, not being something that one pull of the trigger would allow you to go and fire many rounds. And so, one could argue there was an interpretive issue on their part, and they decided to interpret it in a particular way.
There's a good piece in Washington Post last week from Leah Labrisco, who used to write for the 538 blog. And a number of the writers over at 538 have actually looked at the data and done some international comparisons and trying to figure out, where is the center of gravity with respect to gun crime, and what are policies that could reduce gun-related deaths versus those that have no discernible effect. And she basically, the title of the piece is jarring in and of itself. She says, I used to think gun control was the answer. My research told me it wasn't. She goes through silencers and quote-unquote assault weapons and actually looks at the where the large number of gun deaths are. 1 in 5 were young men aged 15 to 35 killed in homicides, most likely to die at the hands of other young men related to gang activity. Last notable groups, in addition to those who commit suicide, which is 2/3 of gun-related deaths. 1,700 women murdered per year, usually as the result of domestic violence. Far more people were killed in these ways than in mass shooting incidents, but few of the popularly floated policies were tailored to serve them. She essentially makes the point, you need to look at categories of crime and see what is sensible policy with respect to, the more likely victims of gun-related crime, including suicide victims, if you will, rather than kind of these mass popular emotional appeals that you see from politicians.
Look, my views have changed tremendously over time looking at guns. Before I started doing research on this, I was probably pretty much in the middle of the debate on this stuff. While the regulations, on first pass seemed reasonable to me. But what I've learned over time is some of what she's learned, and that is when you pass these laws, you have to be careful who they're primarily affecting. And too often, you end up having regulations that affect the most law-abiding citizens. So when Chicago, for example, banned handguns, murder rates, violent crime rates went up, just like they did in D.C., just like they did in every single country in the world, even island nations that have banned guns. And, it's just a simple example, but it's similar to other laws, and that is who were disarmed as a result of the ban. It was basically the most law-abiding good citizens who obeyed the law and turned in their guns, and not the criminals. And to the extent that you disarm law-abiding citizens relative to criminals, you actually saw increases in murder and violent crime. So, you can go and do something like ban magazines with more than 10 bullets in them. But the problem is that it's trivial for a criminal to go and make another magazine. And the people who you're going to disarm are going to, take those away from them, are going to be law-abiding, good citizens. And so, I'll just give you a simple example. You're talking about these mass public shootings. If you have permanent concealed handguns, which, over 98% of these mass public shootings have taken place in these so-called gun-free zones, the only magazine you're going to have is going to be the one in your gun. You're not going to carry around multiple extra magazines that are there. And so they will be limited to the number of bullets that they have. But the person who's going to be going into a mall or to a movie theater or wherever to go and kill lots of people, they're going to bring in, like the Aurora Batman movie theater shooter did, 30 magazines with them. And so, the only people that you've kind of restricted relative to the killer there are going to be the law-abiding citizens. They're
Right.
not going to be as able to go and stop the person as the person who's trying to commit the crime.
He is John Lott Jr., president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, author of a number of books, including The War on Guns and More Guns, Less Crime. John Lott Jr., thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Banning bump stocks. What do you think? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Today it's going to be mostly sunny, warm, a high of 80 degrees, 76 degrees at game time, which is at 3:08 against the Nationals. And then tomorrow, breezy, not as warm with some sun, clouds, little rain in the evening, a high of 68 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. It is Columbus Day. I know some schools are still in session, but CPS is off. And how's that affecting the roadways, Jim Telemonte?
Well, in general, traffic is lighter than usual. One exception is northbound 53. There's a crash at Feasterfield. 2 left lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed. Starting before North Avenue on the northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway, 355. And the delays on the outbound Eisenhower very heavy because of this, starting around Grand Avenue in the Elmhurst-Bensonville area. So looking at a travel time on the Ike downtown to Thorndale of 1 hour and 15 minutes. By far the worst of that is on the extension. It's also a little slow Austin to 9th Avenue. So it's 24 minutes Post Office to Manheim. Inbound, 36 minutes Thorndale to downtown, just 23 from Manheim. Edens, 19 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 31 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 41. Stevenson is 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford is completely delay-free. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy from around Soldier Field to Jackson, but the streets have reopened around Grant Park after the marathon. Traffic answers, AM 560, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Why choose Tabota and Associates to handle your retirement? Well, because we provide objective advice and concierge service, investments, insurance, retirement planning, all at one location. We also partner with qualified attorneys and CPAs to provide complete financial strategies for our clients. We use a variety of investment and insurance products to custom design retirement plans that can give clients a clear look at their future. We help you stay on the path toward financial independence. If you don't want to do it yourself and you want to work with a team to create a financial strategy for your future, give us a call. 630-777-7955. That's 630-777-7955. Would you rather get retirement advice from some TV show host who doesn't know anything about you, or Tabota and Associates? 630-777-7955. Tabota and Associates is a registered investment advisory firm. Jack Tabota is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Allergies, pollen in the air, dogs in the house, mold in the basement. Whatever triggers your allergy symptoms, it can really hold you back. Break through with Allegra 5-in-1 Relief. Allegra works fast, won't make you drowsy, provides 24-hour multi-symptom relief, and it's effective every day. Break through allergies with Allegra. Starts working in 1 hour. Use only as directed. Guaranteed or your money back. Visit Allegra.com.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments. Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy take a couple calls reacting to our
banning of the bump stock
and interview with John Lott Jr. Yes, David and McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. Love you guys.
Thank you.
I love you.
You guys are so intelligent. I just wanted to make a quick comment. I haven't heard anybody mention the Democrats were in control of the House and Senate all during the Obama administration.
Well,
they did
the first 2
nothing
years.
about gun control when Gabby Giffords was shot. Now they want to sit back and point fingers and lay blame on the Republicans.
Yeah, thanks for the call, David. That's right. I mean, it's very much like the conversation on immigration reform. They had 2 years with President Obama and control of the House and the Senate, 2008 to 2010, or 9 to 11, you know what I mean? And they chose not to pursue action on those fronts. Why is that, do you think? By the way, a great op-ed in The Onion from Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, and The Onion? Okay.
We're talking about the 2018 election. We're going to be slapping a brand new tagline onto our campaign, something that puts a fresh new gloss on our tired old tactics. In 2018, with the entire House and a third of the Senate up for grabs, Democrats will be holding town hall meetings, conducting polls, and analyzing voter databases to find out what issues are most important to Americans. We'll then disregard everything we learned, dole out the usual boilerplate stuff that people are clearly sick of, and try and pass it off as a bold new direction for the country. That is the most honest op-ed Nancy Pelosi has ever penned, even though it's The Onion. I mean, the separation between parody and reality. Again, blurry Scott on the West Side.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. The one question I've had throughout this whole discussion of bump stocks is how many incidents of bump stock use has there actually been that has caused massive death or even death in the United States or in the world for that matter? I haven't heard of it. I never heard of a bump stock until it happened in Las Vegas.
Yeah, just like every member of Congress.
Right. So it seems to me that it's a total waste of time and effort to be spending all this time on it. And probably we're giving the gangbangers an idea to look up how to manufacture them for themselves to use them. A little bit less talk about it would have been better than all this talk that we're having about it, I believe.
Thanks for the call, Scott. Appreciate it. Tony and Huntley.
Hey, just wanted to know, first, thanks for taking my call this morning. Do you know that you can bump fire a rifle or a pistol, semi-automatic? You don't need a bump stock.
Right.
There's a technique to do it. So it's really all kind of a moot point anyway. So you ban the stock, you can still fire it. You bump fire it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tony. I guess that's why Senator Dianne Feinstein said, no, a law wouldn't prevent this sort of thing. Right. She's more right than she lets on.
but yet they have to. I mean, again, understand the left uses the legislation making process, the lawmaking process, just as an opportunity for virtue signaling, the solidarity and marginality play. That's what they're doing here. They're just trying to take advantage of it. Whether this ban passes or not, they don't really care. It's just whether it's useful as a political tool in the moment.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk about one Hollywood producer scumbag, Harvey Weinstein. And, hey, P-Hat Posse, come on out. It's safe to criticize him now. He's been fired. He can come on out.
And later, the vice president takes a hike after the NFL takes a knee. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 59 degrees along the lakefront, 54 officially at O'Hare. And the White House wants more than just protection for young illegal immigrants in a so-called DREAM Act. The administration this morning now says it wants Congress to include money to complete a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border and hire thousands more immigration officers. Senator Ron Johnson says the move to repeal and replace Obamacare is not dead at all. Wisconsin Republican on CNN's State of the Union.
Just ran out of time. I won't say collapse. I think it's still alive and well, but we need more time.
Johnson says he's not concerned at all as well that the president has reached out to Democrats for help. Federal Emergency Management Agency directors say the critical political comments from politicians in Puerto Rico are being filtered out as the administration responds to hurricane relief on the island.
The bottom line is that we are making progress every day in conjunction with the governor.
Brock Long on ABC's This Week saying that the San Juan mayor was filtered out a long time ago. Hurricane Nate is now a tropical depression that continues to soak the southeast. More than 100,000 people lost power as the storm hit the Gulf Coast and then moved north. American economist Richard Thaler, winner of the Nobel Prize in Economics. The 72-year-old is a longtime professor at the University of Chicago. An investigation is underway after police found a dead body responding to a fire on Chicago's south side. Officers say they made the discovery on the third floor of an apartment building near 79th and Greenwood. Authorities are calling the death of a 1-month-old Chicago girl a homicide. Toriella Turpin died after she was found unresponsive Saturday in a home near 67th and Southeast End. The Mitchell Trubisky era starts for the Bears tonight on Monday Night Football. Trubisky and the Bears welcome the Vikings to Soldier Field. Bears head coach John Fox says it was an easy decision to go with Trubisky this week.
I thought he made great strides, even through camp, being new to our offense, and just felt like, he was kind of ready for the next step.
Cubs and Nationals meet in Game 3 of the NLDS today at Wrigley Field. Chicago and Washington split the first 2 games in D.C. Rest of playoff baseball found the Yankees and Red Sox staying alive with Game 3 wins. Dodgers will try to finish off a Game 3 sweep of the Diamondbacks. Pelicans beat the Bulls in the NBA preseason, and the Blackhawks start a 2-game road trip tonight in Toronto. The news, a service of TheraWorks Relief. To relieve muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief, the fast-acting foam clinically proven to relieve leg and foot cramps. TheraWorks Relief can even prevent muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today at TheraWorksRelief.com. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is doctor recommended and backed by more medical studies than any other thermometer. The Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Get yours at your local club warehouse or other fine retailers.
Message and data rates may apply.
Warning, texting while driving is illegal just about everywhere. So if you want to take advantage of a life-changing LASIK offer, pull over when you can, because a special opportunity is just one text away. The LASIK Vision Institute is offering absolutely free evaluations and dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK. Text the keyword VALUE to 350350 to get the benefit of FDA-approved LASIK technology that gives the majority of patients 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Text to schedule your free appointment to see if LASIK is right for you. When you text VALUE to 350350, you'll also get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Today, it's your turn. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you've always wanted for a fraction of what others charge. This great offer is just a text away. Text VALUE to 350350. That's VALUE to 350350.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-6779. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-6779. Again, that's 1-800-600-6779.
7:36. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Micah. Northbound 53, a crash at Biesterfield still has 2 left lanes blocked. Delays are heavy on northbound 355, starting at St. Charles, continuing up to Biesterfield. And on the outbound Eisenhower Expressway, the delays start around Grand Avenue. And on the southbound side of 53, we see delays because of this. Gapers, Gulf Road to Biesterfield. On Eisenhower, travel time because of that is very heavy. It's an hour and 16 minutes post office to Thorndale, but just 27 minutes to Manheim. Inbound 37 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Eden's 19 minutes Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 20. Kennedy 26 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 42. Stevenson 45 minutes 355 to the drive, outbound 39. Ryan just 20 minutes 95th to downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy. Steep from around Soldier Field to Jackson. The northbound Tri-State from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic service of Staples. Staples knows that when the only printer in your office that's not out of ink is 3 flights up, it's time. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print, like buy one HP ink and get the second at 30% off. Ends 10/14, restrictions apply. See store or staples.com for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny and warm, a high near 80 today. Officially 54 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
Freedom Summit Chicago 2017 is coming to the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca on November 11th. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein fired by his brother and co-founder of the Weinstein Company after a number of board members of the company resigned and the others moved on Harvey Weinstein amid all kinds of disgusting allegations of sexual harassment and, frankly, worse than that. Harvey Weinstein essentially conceded the point with his pathetic effort at a misdirection play of a statement that he issued on Friday.
Yeah, saying, I'm a product of the 60s and 70s, and that kind of behavior was acceptable back then.
It's a good question. No, we don't know. We weren't. Well, you were there.
Really?
So,
seriously, a little too soon.
Yeah.
If I was just born a month later, I would be a 70s child. But no, I had to be born in November.
So you know all about the 60s. You were there. The free love era.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a flower child.
Your first vote was for Nixon for president, 68. But also, not just Amy's expertise here. We'll look for others. For those who came of age in the 60s and 70s, love to hear from you. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Could this just be cultural norms changing and not being able to keep up with them? Is that really what the problem is here? Let me give you an example of the cultural norms of the 60s and 70s when Harvey Weinstein came of age, that he's saying, he just got out of step with the times.
Yeah.
Because this is how it used to be.
I have a few examples too, which I want to bounce
this-
off of our listeners.
This is Lauren Sivan, who is a TV anchor.
Uh-huh.
And she tells a story of meeting Harvey Weinstein at a restaurant in which he was an investor, Cafe Socialista. Of course it was Socialista. Dem mega donor Harvey Weinstein, of course. Harvey Weinstein, sorry. It's Harvey Firestein, I apologize. Harvey Weinstein. Cuban-themed club and restaurant Weinstein, again, was an investor in. He saw Sivan.
Yeah.
And he...
Asked her for a back rub.
He took her into the kitchen, dismissed 2 staffers from the room, tried to kiss her, then cornered her, exposed himself, and masturbated in front of her.
Gross.
Is that
that's what they did in the 60s and 70s, right?
That was mating in the
That's
60s and
foreplay.
70s?
Yeah,
was that courting in the 60s and 70s?
Also,
I don't know.
Yeah, he would have his female employees do what's like a turn down time. You know how they turn down your bed at hotels? Well, when he would travel with some of his staff, he'd ask them to come in and turn down my bed and give me a back rub while he was naked. He'd want them to watch him shower, weird, and then fondle them without their permission and all that. He did settle some lawsuits, or not lawsuits, but 6 women he paid out about $100,000 plus in cash for.
That was just
to shut them up.
That was the go-go 60s though, and 70s.
Right,
That was just how
right.
you was that the deal that you improperly touched people? Was that just part of the culture at the time? This from the New York Post, waitress, who's now a reporter at Decider.com, but she was a waitress at the Tribeca Grill, which was located in Harvey Weinstein's office building, and he was a regular there. That's where he would take all of the starlets that he was trying to, make a play on. And apparently, he was, just a disgusting human being in every aspect. She writes, does Miss Badowski, Harvey Weinstein was every bit the sleazy Hollywood character recent reports have made him out to be. I watched it numerous times as a string of young women, some seemingly no older than 21, enter the restaurant for long, flirty dinners with them, even though he was married with 5 children. We all knew the Harvey Weinstein protocol, a fellow server recounting. When a girl arrived waiting for Harvey, we all knew what was in store for her. After a little small talk and a sip of champagne, there would be an office tour, quote unquote, usually well past working hours, after which the girl would return looking worse for the wear and barely able to finish the glass of champagne. The former waitress, recounts, his food tastes were those of a toddler. He'd regularly order well-done fries, chopped up fettuccine, ice cream with extra sprinkles, and French onion soup that he would slurp and splatter all over the booth. I mean, he's this big, grotesque Jabba the Hutt-looking figure.
With a horrible complexion, and he looks like he would eat like that with absolutely no manners.
But that was how you ate in the 60s.
Yeah.
When people were coming of age in their 20s and 30s in the 60s and 70s, that's how you ate French onion soup. Stop blaming Harvey Weinstein for the culture. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, good morning, Amy. Be glad you weren't there. Harvey Weinstein was way ahead of his time. I'm not going to go into details on the radio, but as far as organic farming goes, he was known to demonstrate to female anchors in potted plants in restaurants how to fertilize plants.
Yes,
never got in trouble, never got beat, never got arrested.
Thanks for the call, Tom. Well, it's a little bit worse than that, isn't it? Now, again, this could have been the culture back in 2004. I was still a young pup 13 years ago. But there's a story about New York Times having information about his sexual misconduct back in 2004. They contacted the Italian, the head of Miramax, Italy. Miramax, of course, the company of which he came to fame and prominence. The account is that this guy who was the head of Miramax Italy, his name is Lombardo, had no real film experience. His real job was to take care of Weinstein's women needs, among other things.
Oh, my gosh.
In 2003, 2004, Fabrizio Lombardo was paid $400,000 for less than a year of employment.
For doing what?
Apparently applying women for Weinstein, among others. And when the New York Times had this information and other information suggesting grotesque behavior by Weinstein,
they sat on their hands.
They didn't run the story. Yeah, 2004. And guess who else rallied to Weinstein's defense? Matt Damon called the New York Times reporter to vouch for Lombardo and, by extension, Weinstein. Another leftist icon, Matt Damon.
He was Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting. I don't drop my G's.
How about that, Matt Damon?
Well,
you know,
no.
all these great feminist leftist men in Hollywood. What do you think, ladies? P-hat wearers? Hillary Clinton, she's been awfully quiet. Bill Clinton?
They were friends.
Yeah, and not friends, but also, financial benefactor, Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein donated $800,000 to the Democratic National Committee and then other candidates. So some people are saying they're going to give the money back, the campaign donations back. But why did they accept it in the first place if they knew he was a scumbag?
What do you think about because they don't care about this stuff. They don't care about personal conduct.
Well, they do if it's a Republican.
Well, right. And they care if it becomes so onerous that they have to distance themselves, which is what's happening now. This is why Pocahontas and Pagliacci have both returned some campaign cash that they got from Weinstein. But here's the thing, too. What should Weinstein's punishment be? And I mean, not just losing his job. How about...
They're going to change the name of the company.
I would think. But that's a branding issue. That's not
Right.
punishment. How about like a Game of Thrones Walk of Atonement through West Hollywood?
Oh, there you go.
Like Cersei had to do. Naked.
I don't want... Ew.
Yeah.
That would be...
He likes to expose
PTSD.
himself. Why not a little jaunt through West Hollywood?
Sick person. New York Times this morning, just so you know, though, on Twitter, they say, if you have more to share about Harvey Weinstein, I'm listening. Call, email me, reach out. We will meet you. New York Times.
Now they will.
/tips.
Now they
that's
will.
what they're doing this
Yeah,
morning.
now they will.
Now they want all the juicy details that the cat's been let out of the bag. Mm-hmm.
Well, and also
yes.
Amanda Turcotte, who's a political writer for Washington Post. I mean, this is how, they can't see, but for the plank in their eye. This is the reaction she had over the weekend. Amanda Marcotte, excuse me. She, where did she tweet? She tweeted this. Both sides have sexual predators, absolutely. No one denies that. Only one side actually gives up blank. The other side elects them president. Salon.com, Washington Post, Amanda Marcotte. So, the moral voice of the left and the politics of the left. Only one elects them president? Yeah, I mean, I'll concede Trump's boorish conduct towards women and certainly his language. Concede the point. Bill Clinton? I mean, you have such tunnel vision that you can't examine kind of your own political house, if you will, and say, yeah, we've got these bad actors too, and there probably should be a standard that's set that applies across the political spectrum that we suggest people abide. I think that's probably a better approach. But I mean, and then again, I'm not a big shot political writer for Salon or Washington Post, so what do I know? Dan on the North Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, and James Wood announced his retirement over the weekend because he's blacklisted by people like Harvey Weinstein, and the number one reason why he switched parties was because of the Clinton impeachment, how such a travesty it was of these people. You're right, Hollywood is a bunch of hypocrites.
Thanks for the call, Dan. Rick in Wilmington.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I will concede half a point that maybe the 70s, I was born in 1967, was flush with the emergence of, public sexuality, people expressing themselves a little bit more than they had in the previous conservative times. But, I was one of three Irish boys. I was raised by our mom was from Ireland, came from a divorced home. My father was, let's just say, a popular person after he had gotten divorced. But, my mom had always taught us that what women find attractive is not being a pig,
Yeah.
And it was common courtesy. And, I mean, I grew up, kind of a wild child myself from like 21 to 35. But the things that I had heard this guy has done and the way that he conducted himself in public they're just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about sexual assault, and I don't ever remember a decade where that was acceptable.
Thanks for the call, Rick.
Animals had more control than Harvey Weinstein.
Well, and also, too, I mean, think about he's got 5 kids. He's on his second wife, 5 kids. That's a real example he's setting for the young ones, isn't it? I wonder.
He's spending more time with his family, by the way.
I wonder if they'd like him to spend less time with them. I wonder if that marriage is going to survive this. Because, I mean, obviously you've publicly humiliated your wife.
Well, and your children, too.
Right, correct.
I mean, they're going to get harassed. And those are details you don't need to know because your dad's a bad man.
Also, this from Holly from Hudson tweet, note to self, quit asking Harvey Weinstein to house sit. He's killing all the plants.
Holly.
David and Skokie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. First off, Anthony Weiner is still married. So I don't know why you expect anything better from the Democratic Party.
Yeah, right.
Secondly, Bill Clinton can't condemn him because he's his partner in crime. I mean, those guys had meetings. I would love to see what happened in those meetings.
Thanks for the call, David. Tom in Schaumburg.
I can't help but wonder, does Harvey have a black leather FU jacket like Tammy Suckworth's?
I don't know.
Wow.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
Weird.
It's,
that was inappropriate.
Strongly worded. Frank in St. Charles.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, what you were saying about this guy or like Roger Ailes or Hugh Hefner, I mean, but what about the women? I mean, they're basically trading sex for money, and to me, that's prostitution. They willingly go along with it.
Well, they want a job in Hollywood. Who doesn't?
Well, yes.
It's called the casting couch for a reason because a lot of women.
Amy, you wouldn't do it, would you?
Oh heck no, I don't. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not that person.
Well, you're explaining it. You're not condoning it.
Oh, sorry. I'm explaining.
Yes. Thanks for the call, Frank. Well, but
disgusting. I'm just saying that's been going on.
Well,
forever.
Of course, yes, that's true. But here's Frank. There's a difference. There's a difference here. Although there were allegations of sexual harassment against Roger Ailes and settlements and stuff too. But I mean, we're not talking just about the young women using sex with respect to powerful men to get what they want, to get a shot in movies and all that stuff. Because obviously, no self-respecting woman would be with Harvey Weinstein if he didn't have money and he wasn't powerful and he could make them famous, right? But we have incidences where women didn't do that, where they this anchor I mentioned that he cornered in a restaurant, even Ashley Judd, others suggesting no, the advances were unwanted, and no, I wasn't going to barter with him, and so that's a different thing altogether. And also the people covering for him, the New York Times for 13 years, Matt Damon. Those that were apologists for him because of professional advantages to keep Harvey around, they bear some culpability as well.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I love it. I see a tremendous difference in my skin, in my nails, in my hair, in my energy.
Unlike the people that I hear on the radio, I've had vitamins before, but this is makes a much bigger difference than vitamins ever did. That's for sure.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code WIND.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-900-5338. That's 1-800-900-5338. 1-800-900-5338.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I sing your praises all the time because I was very run down. I was getting bronchitis all the time. And ever since I started taking this, at the first sign of a sniffle, by the next day, it's gone.
Love it. Great product. Yeah, I should have taken it years ago. It works. You know, your skin is better, your blood pressure is down, and stuff like that.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's promo code WIND.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-6779. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-6779. Again, that's 1-800-600-6779.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the latest with the soda tax. Some commissioners now are changing their tunes. We'll speak with Richard Boykin. And then later, Senator Corker to the New York Times saying Trump is reckless and could start World War III. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good Monday morning. Happy Columbus Day to Mike Scott.
A Chicagoan wins the Nobel Prize for Economics. The death of a Chicago baby called a homicide. An investigation continues. First U.S.-born runner in 35 years wins the Chicago Marathon. Vikings and Bears on Monday Night Football. Cubs hosting the Nats in Game 3 of their series. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
His dream of building a border wall could affect the dreamers. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump has some demands for Congress in the bipartisan effort to extend DACA, protecting immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The administration's wish list for an immigration deal includes a crackdown on the influx of Central American minors and curbs on federal grants to so-called sanctuary cities. Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway.
We also want the safe return of children who are coming over unaccompanied, the unaccompanied minors. We want them to go home safely and securely. We also want to build that border wall.
Those demands were quickly denounced by Democratic leaders in Congress who hope to cut a deal with the president to protect younger immigrants known as dreamers who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Dave?
John, President Trump's tweeted again, stoking the national anthem controversy, writing 49ers players showed such disrespect for country, praising Vice President Pence for walking out of the game after 23 Niners players took a knee. But one of them, Eric Reed, called the VP leaving a PR stunt, saying that's what systemic oppression looks like. It's been a week since the Las Vegas massacre.
All of the hotels dimmed their lights for exactly 11 minutes last night, the exact time of the shooting.
Fox's Will Carr is in Las Vegas, and so is the dead gunman's brother.
He's trying to help the FBI find that elusive motive, the reason why Stephen Paddock killed 58 people and injured almost 500 others.
Paddock's house also searched again over the weekend. Wildfires are burning up California wine country, moving fast, whipped up by 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
All of a sudden, it was over the hill and coming.
So he fled his home into a shelter.
What we're in right now is we're in a kind of life and preservation mode to get people out of the area.
That's a CAL FIRE spokesman this morning. There are 10 fires around Napa and Sonoma counties. Homes and wineries have burned. Some drivers had to abandon cars in the streets as flames spread. Fox News, fair and balanced.
.60 degrees, partly sunny skies. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An American economist, Richard Thaler, winner of the Nobel Prize in Economics, the 72-year-old, is a longtime professor at the University of Chicago. An investigation is underway after police found a dead person responding to a fire on Chicago's South Side. Officers discovered that body early this morning on the third floor of an apartment building near 79th and Greenwood. Authorities are calling the death of a 1-month-old Chicago girl a homicide. Toriella Turpin died at the hospital after she was found unresponsive Saturday inside her home near 67th and Southeast End. A Wisconsin man facing felony charges after an AR-15 rifle and a pressure cooker were found in his vehicle over the weekend. Police say Santos Zamora was pulled over for speeding Saturday morning near O'Hare. He was arrested after officers discovered the rifle and the pressure cooker. Cubs and Nationals meet in Game 3 of the NLDS today at Wrigley Field. The Mitchell Trubisky era begins for the Bears tonight on Monday Night Football. Trubisky and the Bears welcome the Vikings to Soldier Field. The Democratic race for governor in Illinois becoming J.B. Pritzker against the field. The latest example? Democratic County Chairman on Saturday overwhelmingly voted to endorse Pritzker, getting 65 of 90 votes cast. Chris Kennedy, 17. 8 others voted not to endorse. Chicago sports. Blackhawks begin a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs. Pelicans beat the Bulls in NBA preseason action. Galen Rupp, the first American-born runner to win the Chicago Marathon in 35 years, clocking a very respectable 2 hours, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. The news is a service of Audible.com. Turning traffic into an escape, mystery, sci-fi, bestsellers, and motivation. Ride with Audible and transform your commute with an unbeatable selection of audiobooks. Start a 30-day trial and your first one is free. Go to Audible.com. It's 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Marvel Entertainment had a deal to partner with Northrop Grumman to promote science education, but it scrapped the partnership when superhero fans criticized the deal. Northrop Grumman is a global aerospace and defense technology company. The two companies were to reveal the deal at New York Comic-Con over the weekend. Hotel company Accor is bidding for Australian chain Mantra. Accor is offering more than $900 million for the group In addition to Australia, Mantra owns hotels in New Zealand and Hawaii. Australia is growing in popularity as a tourist destination for travelers from the U.S., Europe, and China. Today is Columbus Day. The stock market will be open, but the bond market is closed. The Dow was down a point on Friday. The Nasdaq was up 4. The S&P was down 2. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Daily stress is a big deal. Fact is, the terrible impact of stress is very deadly and shortens our lives. Stressed individuals attract diseases, just like blood in the water attracts sharks. Hi, this is Dr. David Kolbaba. I'm the show host of Health Quest Radio, the longest-running health news and science show in Chicago. And for over 33 years, we share practical concepts from a natural healthcare perspective to minimize the need for all those dangerous drugs and risky surgeries. Today, it's our dirt-cheap adrenal stress index test. No blood, just spit. You know, most people flunk on their first go-around, signaling adrenal gland distress. And then following our stress-busting strategies, most individuals pass their second test with flying colors. So if you can spare a little spit, call and purchase your first dirt-cheap adrenal stress index test, and we'll hold that same special low price for your follow-up test. Call 800-794-1855. You can't get any cheaper than dirt cheap. 800-794-1855. And be sure to tune in to Health Quest Radio this Saturday morning at 11.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing much more than just a rate. Let me ask you, does calling the company with the best client service in America, with 11 J.D. Power Awards to prove it, matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative, client-focused technology, matter? Does calling the company with 17,000 plus team members who are helping to rebuild the great cities of Detroit and Cleveland matter? Of course it matters. No wonder our clients have made Quicken Loans America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
8:07 and a check of the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In downtown Chicago, Columbus and Jackson have reopened after yesterday's marathon. Balbo has reopened between Michigan Avenue and Columbus, but it is still blocked between Columbus and Lakeshore Drive as that marathon cleanup continues there. On northbound 53 at Biesterfield, we have some big delays, but they're diminishing a bit. An earlier collision there has cleared out of the two left lanes. It's still heavy on northbound 355 from St. Charles up to Biesterfield on northbound 53, and delays on the outbound Eisenhower and are decreasing, but they're still heavy, especially from around York Road. Biesterfield, travel time from downtown to Thorndale is an hour and 5 minutes, just 22 minutes to Manheim. Inbound is 32 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. Edens, 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 20. Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 36. Stevenson, 355, Lakeshore Drive is 40 minutes, outbound 41. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown, all clear on I-57 to the Bishop Ford. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Roosevelt to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy morning fog, otherwise a mostly sunny day today with a high 80. Patchy clouds at night, low 58. Increasing clouds tomorrow, a late afternoon shower around, breezy and cooler with a high 67. Then periods of rain at night, low tomorrow night, 56. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare, 62 along the lakefront, 51 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering, a Chicago holiday party tradition. For delicious holiday catering, visit tastycatering.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The spirit of Prefontaine lives in Chicago. The white guy wins the marathon.
Yeah, first time since 2002 that an American has won the marathon, and his name is Galen Rupp.
It's real fun to see Americans doing well again and being competitive in these races, and hopefully we can inspire a future generation to pick up distance running, and they'll have that belief growing up that they can be there.
And he was a runner. He's from Eugene.
Yeah. Obviously, he's a runner. Yeah. That's the first time he's ever run. He was taking a jog, and he thought, I'll just keep going. It was
because he was running.
Yeah. Run, Forrest, run! Yeah, amazing. Well, and then he just stopped running because stuff happens.
Well, he's from Oregon, but his dad is from Maywood and Oak Forest, so he's been here. He's familiar with the streets of Chicago.
Mostly the only vacations that I took were coming to Chicago as a kid, to visit my family, go to a Cubs game, and I just love it here.
And that's why I think today they have to let him throw out the first pitch or sing the seventh inning stretch.
He sounds like he may be a sophomore at one of the Proviso schools. Is he East or West? I mean, how old is this guy?
He's 31 years old.
Doesn't sound 31. Anyway, it's great.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
My marathon is ongoing. I took a break to do the show.
Well, you started
I'm going to be
training.
back at it at about 10 o'clock when I get back downtown today.
But you started training on Friday. Well, you did your long run Thursday night, and then Friday, that's why you were off, because you were working out the hamstrings.
So I'm gonna spread it out over the course of the next several days to finish my marathon.
What mile marker are you at?
I'm at like 6.5.
Couldn't even make it to Boys Town.
Everybody at your own pace.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay.
And it's an accomplishment. I can't wait to have that satisfaction, cross it off my bucket list. Just like Oprah. All right, switching to Cook County politics since we're talking about Chicago. But now we have to talk about the politics of it. Tomorrow, a vote is scheduled, I believe, to dethrone Queen Sugar, as it were. Queen Sugar, again, I borrowed that from Mays Jackson, Charles Thomas over at VON, but I gave them Tiny Dancer. So that's a free and fair exchange.
That's her moniker. Yeah, Queen Sugar. Tony Preckwinkle, her little plan's kind of dissolving.
Yeah, the question is, will there be the votes, number one, to repeal it and have a veto-proof majority in the repeal so that Queen Sugar can override her court? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Richard Boykin, who is a Cook County Commissioner for the 1st District. He's out west side, out to Oak Park, where he lives, and also had an extended conversation with Commissioner Boykin for our Against the Current series, which is posted today, and I'll tweet out on Facebook and all that. Upstream-ideas.com for an extended conversation about Cook County government, Cook County policies, not just the sugary drink tax, with Richard Boykin that you'll want to check out. Commissioner Boykin, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thank you very much for having me.
So handicap the repeal for us. That's what everybody wants to know since it sparked such a revolt among Cook County residents.
I think we could have as many as 14 votes in favor of repeal. Right now we have 12, but I think that number could grow to 14. And quite frankly, we're going to have the votes necessary to have a veto-proof repeal, and I'm excited about it. This is a great day for the people of Cook County because, quite frankly, the members of the board understand that the people of Cook County do not want this unfair beverage tax foisted upon them. And so, quite frankly, tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the Finance Committee, we will vote to repeal this unfair beverage tax, and then the full board will vote to do it on Wednesday.
So, but this sugary drink tax really hit a nerve in a way that I haven't seen a tax be responding that way. But John Daly, he took back his vote because wasn't he for the sugary drink tax, and then he realized that he could lose his seat over this, so now he wants to repeal it.
Well, I don't think that John Daly was ever in trouble of losing his seat, but I think John Daly's calculation, and he's a good man, he's a leader who understands that, you got to listen to the people. And so he saw the writing on the wall, and he saw the fact that, look, 90% of the people in Cook County oppose this tax. And he thought that would be a drag on the Democratic ticket. And, we hadn't seen this kind of uproar since maybe the Boston Tea Party Revolution.
Wow.
And quite frankly, I think he read the writing on the wall and said, look, I'm going to switch my vote. And what I like most about it, because it's what I've been saying for about 6 or 7 months now, and that is we can find $200 million to cut in a $5 billion budget without having devastating cuts on health care and public safety. Now, President Preckwinkle will try to scare people into thinking somehow we're going to close clinics, people aren't going to have trauma care, it's going to be mayhem in the streets of Chicago and throughout Cook County because we're going to devastate public safety. Those kind of scare tactics, quite frankly, are dishonest, disingenuous, and are irresponsible. We need to roll up our sleeves, work together in a collaborative manner, and figure out how do we cut $200 million in wasteful spending out of the budget.
I'll tell you what, it's worth noting, John Daly doing this just in response to public pressure. It's not like it's a matter of principle or anything that he was opposed to it. So that's worth noting, now opposed to it as well. But it's worth noting in a couple things. It tells you a lot about politicians. It also tells you a lot about what moves politicians. Pressure. And I know, Commissioner Boykin, you'll concede my point, so I won't make you address that. But, the other point that you make is the point that's lost in our conversations, and whether we're talking about Chicago, Cook County, the state of Illinois. What about the spend side? You're talking about $200 million this is projected to generate, which, because demand is elastic on these matters, these drinks, probably be much less than that. But let's say it's $200 million. That's still less than 5% of the Cook County budget, as you were just detailing. And so it just smacks of disingenuousness to suggest that you can't find less than 5% of the Cook County budget to refashion, re-engineer, rethink, and reduce, yet you have to impose another regressive tax on Cook County families, and that's the point that you're making.
Well, the point is that we can find it, and we will find it. We must find it. We owe that to the taxpayers of Cook County. We're going to operate in a responsible fashion and manner. I think that a number of my colleagues have jumped off to repeal, actually. And, people like Chuy Garcia, who's the floor leader for President Preckwinkle, he's now a vote to repeal. My colleague Stan
Must be
Moore,
running for mayor.
quite frankly, it'll be tough for him to run for mayor, I think, because people see it as a flip-flop.
Right.
And, they'll talk about that. But I'm quite frankly happy that the guys have finally seen the light.
But now,
a way to cut the budget.
Now, what about your political future? Because now that Queen Sugar has been brought back down to being very human from being untouchable just a few weeks ago, there's a lot of talk about you perhaps primarying her and running for Cook County Board President.
Well, that's not going to happen. I actually announced last week, week and a half ago, that I'm actually running for re-election to the 1st District seat. I believe that my voice on the county board is very important, and I believe that we'll help to shape policy in the coming years and the benefit of the taxpayers of Cook County. Look, I voted against the sales tax, which made us the highest sales tax in the nation, against this sweetened beverage tax, which I thought out the box was unfair and totally unnecessary. And, we've helped to shape policies in the county that I think that people will be proud of. So I want to continue my work there and continue to work with people to be a bridge builder and not to divide.
Just to make sure that you still set aside some money in the budget for Sheriff Dart to do those puppy rescues, because he gets a lot of good photo op PR from that. And I don't want him to lose those opportunities for PR.
I love Sheriff Dart. I think he's doing a terrific job.
Of course. Oh, sure.
I agree with you. I love Sheriff Dart,
everybody
too.
loves Sheriff. Sure, the puppies. No, of course it's great. What's next on the Cook County Board agenda in addition to the reduction or the repeal of this tax, I should say, because there's the minimum wage that 3/4 of suburbs, the minimum wage increase 3/4 of Cook County suburbs have opted out of. There's the promulgation of rules regarding overtime and sick leave that are being imposed on Cook County businesses that are not particularly popular as well. Is there any reconsideration of some of those other policy gambits?
Look, quite frankly, on the minimum wage and paid sick leave, villages and municipalities had a provision in the bill to actually opt out. And as you accurately stated, 3/4 of the municipalities have actually opted out. But the biggest thing coming up right now is the fiscal year 2018 budget that we'll have to have passed by November 30th as the new fiscal year begins December 1st. And so we'll have public hearings around the county on the budget. Obviously, we're going to have to find $200 million that would have been soda pop tax money for this fiscal year 18 budget. But let me just say this to your listeners. I don't believe we would have gotten anywhere near $200 million. In fact, for the month of August, we collected $300,000 in soda pop tax, sweetened beverage tax. And they have projected $18 million for the month of August, and so we wouldn't have got anywhere near that. But we'll get
government forecasting. Yeah,
we'll get a clearer picture as we go forward, because even once we repeal this tomorrow, it'll stay in effect until November 30th. So December 1st, people won't have to pay that tax.
All right, you're not going to be invited to Michael Bloomberg's retreat. You know that. You're off his list.
I'm so sick of those commercials.
Yeah, you're
Maybe
off the
they'll
list.
stop running them.
Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin, Commissioner for the 1st District, the West Side, into the Western Burbs. And also, again, check out long-form interview that I had the pleasure to do with Commissioner Boykin at upstream-ideas.com or Against the Current series. Commissioner Boykin, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless you all.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I mean, that number was laughable. We laughed out loud. Coming up, your phone calls 312-642-5600. First, here's your forecast for this amazing sports day in Chicago. A playoff game, 3:08 Wrigley. Temperature will be 76 degrees with sunshine. And then tonight, the Bears take on the Vikings. 7 o'clock start, the temperature will be 66 degrees. And then tomorrow, it's going to be breezy, not as warm, cloud, sun, a little rain in the PM, a high of 68. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Good morning. Northbound 53 at Beesterfield. An earlier crash has cleared. We still have pretty heavy delays on northbound 355 starting at St. Charles, continuing up to Beesterfield. And farther north, northbound 53 is heavy. The Adams Tollway to Kirchhoff. The southbound side is okay. The outbound Eisenhower is still affected by that earlier crash at Beesterfield. It is an hour, post office to Thorndale, 22 minutes to Manheim. Inbound, it's a light 32-minute drive from Thorndale to the post office. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 20. Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, a little quicker in the locals than the express. Outbound 36 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 41. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Roosevelt to Jackson. Northbound Tri-States, though, from Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that enhances what we do each morning on this show. Our digital platform with long-form interviews with policymakers, opinion leaders, like I mentioned, Commissioner Richard Boykin this week on Cook County government. Also, the headmaster and athletic director from Northridge Prep, how Northridge Prep High School turns young boys into responsible, respectful, and successful men. So you want to check out both of those. Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments. Heart of the Matter, professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries. Podcast of Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. And 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
Rolling hills and beautiful prairie views. You can take it all in when you play golf at Golf Club of Illinois in Algonquin. Play at one of the finest golf courses in Illinois with a special seasonal deal from ChicagoRadioDeals.com. The Golf Club of Illinois is a classic link-style course featuring high grasses, treacherous sand bunkers, and strategically placed mounds on each hole. This course is a stern test for all skill levels, and it's consistently ranked among the top 10 public courses to play by Chicagoland Golf. Find out why Golf Club of Illinois is a secret favorite for those looking for a unique, challenging round of golf. Play with your favorite foursome of golf buddies for only $95. That includes cart, and it's usually almost a $200 deal. Or for the dedicated golfer, tee up the preferred player membership, normally $380, only $165, and that includes discounted rates for rounds of golf, cart, and 2 bonus rounds of golf during the 2017 season. For more warm weather deals, because it is still going to be warm yet again this week, visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I started out vomiting with migraines at the age of 19, and about 10 years later, it got to the point where it was almost every day. This stuck with me for about another 20 years. When I was introduced to this Balance of Nature, I couldn't believe how quickly the triggers that would cause these migraines just went away.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code WIND.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems.
Get it done before the winter comes.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, let's take a couple calls reacting to our interview with Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin, predicting tomorrow veto-proof repeal of the Cook County sugary beverage tax. Paul in Lake Forest.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Better with numbers than I am, Dan. Let me run this by you real quick. $5.4 billion is the budget.
Mm-hmm.
We had 54 million tourists last year that they brag about.
Mm-hmm.
If we clipped each of them for $5, that's $500 million. I mean, for $10. If we clipped them for $100, that's $4 billion.
And then we'll have.
Where is it?
We'll have less than 54 million tourists if we start doing that, won't we? Because but thanks for the call, Paul. I get it. Mike on the north side.
Hi, kids. Thanks for taking my call. If the budget is $54 billion for the county,
5.4
7
billion.
years ago, 5.4 billion for the county. 7 years ago, it was $3 billion. So that's a $2.4 billion increase. That's almost 10% a year. That's where the problem is. It's not that we don't pay enough in taxes. We spend too much.
It's always the spend side. Yeah.
I wanted to ask that commissioner, how many directors do we have in the sheriff's office now? We've got about 140 of them.
Yeah, well,
what do we need all those people for?
Well, they got to stage those puppy rescues for Tom Dart. Thanks for the call, Mike. You know what you need them for. Sean in Elmwood Park.
You and the puppies.
Where's the $1 billion from the video game? $1 billion. Where's the money from the Sam Giancana tax the stupid and the desperate in these ghettos? Or you could be like my Cook County commissioner, Queen for a day with the welcome mat on his head, who works for Gold Rush Gaming. He works for them. He's an agent, which is why only the video games around his areas, they're Gold Rush. So they use their political power and their clout and their corruption to avoid competitions. They make endless profits, and they don't have to tell you where it is. But it's all for the betterment of the people. In the meantime, there's a lot of lobbyists tooling around in new Escalades. Somebody want to tell me where the money is?
Thanks, Sean.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The decimation of Illinois state government detailed by former Rauner Communications Director Diana Rickert in the Tribune. We'll have that at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Happy Columbus Day to all my Italian friends. Hey! Kids got a day off of school. Some of them do. CPS does. Here's Mike Scott.
60 degrees, partly sunny skies. The FBI is searching at this hour the home of the Las Vegas shooter and interviewing his brother again. Agents searched Stephen Paddock's Nevada retirement community home. Other agents interviewed his brother a second time yesterday as investigators try to figure out a motive behind the shooting that killed 58 and injured nearly 500. Top congressional Democrats in Congress tearing into the Trump administration's demands for negotiations to protect young illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. The Trump administration calling for money to complete a wall along the border with Mexico, as well as other cuts to legal immigration. Republican Senator Bob Corker not letting up on President Trump. In an interview with the New York Times, the senator saying the president is treating the office like a reality show. Corker also saying that Trump's threats against other countries could pave the way to an international conflict. The storm that once was Hurricane Nate is now a tropical depression, soaking the southeast. More than 100,000 lost power as the storm slammed the Gulf Coast near Biloxi, Mississippi. An investigation is underway after police found a dead person responding to a fire on Chicago's south side. Officers discovered the body early this morning on the third floor of an apartment building near 79th and Greenwood. A Chicago man is accused of vandalizing a Christopher Columbus statue over the weekend in the city's Little Italy neighborhood. Kyle Miskell appeared in court yesterday on charges of criminal damage to government property and criminal defacement of property. Officers arrested Miskell, who was part of a group of 3 other masked men who spray painted the statue. Cubs and Nationals meet in a busy sports day here in Chicago. Game 3 of the NLDS at Wrigley Field. And the Mitchell Trubisky era begins for the Bears tonight on Monday Night Football, welcoming the Vikings to Soldier Field. Chicago sports, Blackhawks start a 2-game road trip tonight versus the Maple Leafs. Pelicans put down the Bulls in preseason action 108-95. The news, a service of Audible.com. Audible turns traffic into an escape. Mystery, sci-fi bestsellers, and motivation ride with Audible and transform your commute with an unbeatable selection of audiobooks. Start a 30-day trial and your first one is free. Go to audible.com. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The private bank is now CIBC. Their name may have changed, but their commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
Message and data rates may apply.
Warning, texting while driving is illegal just about everywhere. So if you want to take advantage of a life-changing LASIK offer, pull over when you can, because a special opportunity is just one text away. The LASIK Vision Institute is offering absolutely free evaluations and dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK. Text the keyword VALUE to 350350 to get the benefit of FDA-approved LASIK technology that gives the majority of patients 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Text to schedule your free appointment to see if LASIK is right for you. When you text VALUE to 350350, you'll also get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Today, it's your turn. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you've always wanted for a fraction of what others charge. This great offer is just a text away. Text VALUE to 350350. That's VALUE to 350350.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company, a top-quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd. It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
.36. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway, 355, traffic is stop and go from North Avenue to 290. It's all clear now on 53 at Beesterfield after an earlier crash. Traffic's moving well on 53 in both directions. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The other Illinois tollways are looking good. Traffic is moving along well on the Edens in both directions. Kennedy inbound, heavy California to the Hubbard Tunnel. 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 33. The Eisenhower's 33 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. 18 from Manheim, outbound 41 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford just fine. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Balbo to Jackson. Balbo remains blocked between Lakeshore Drive and Columbus. The other streets around Grand Park are all open again after Sunday's marathon. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny day ahead, warm today, high near 80. Patchy clouds, mild, low 58 overnight. We'll have some sun in the morning tomorrow. Breezy midday and a shower late in the day, high 67. Currently, 60 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This is what you're going to see for the rest of Governor Rauner's time as governor of Illinois. You're going to have stories coming out. This is a governor and his wife who's the co-governor. Maybe actually Bruce is the co-governor. It's difficult to know how to prioritize them.
I know, but I really had no idea how much power she had until recently.
Yeah, well, more of that's going to come out. This was going to happen because he's engendered no loyalty, because he's lied to everyone with whom he's spoken at some point during his time as a candidate and as governor. You have people freely coming out to tell you what they know to be true. There's no loyalty there. And frankly, there's no confidence. And it's reflected in the numbers. But here's what they think. Here's what Governor Rauner thinks and his wife.
Right.
We can be the social justice warriors Diana wants us to be, his wife, because where do conservatives have to go? Conservatives are going to have to vote for us because where do they have to go? If there is a primary challenge and we survive the primary challenge, then up against J.B. Pritzker, once everybody understands everything they need to know about J.B. Pritzker, and there's a lot. I will guarantee you we'll get to that in the weeks and months ahead, that they'll default back to Governor Rauner, hold their nose and vote for Governor Rauner because there's too much at stake, the remap and all these other things. Is that true? Is that your position if you're a self-identified conservative? 642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I think it's going to be less and less true as more and more stories like Diana Rickards come out. Diana Rickard, who was a comm director over at the Illinois Policy Institute, then went to the governor's office to be his comm director, and then left. And she writes an op-ed over the weekend in the Tribune that is rather remarkable. And from my experience in state government, both formally and kind of informally knowing how it works, I think it's accurate. You know, Amy, you may remember this. A great man once said that Illinois isn't broken, it's fixed.
Let me see. And that great man happened to be Dan Proft.
Well,
oh my gosh.
If you insist,
standing right behind.
I mean, if you insist, I'm not saying that. You're saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, but and the point is, politicians run around. The state is broken, and Ronner does this too. Illinois government is broken. No, it's not. Something is broken means it's not working as it's intended to work. Actually, state government is working precisely as those in charge of it want it to work. It's just not serving your interests, but it is serving theirs. So this is why playing the inside game, as Governor Ronner and Republicans have done, has been a massive strategic error, and it's left them in this very weak position. And this has been the problem with the Republican Party in Illinois for a long time, because it's the outside, the 90% of people plus who exist outside of state government that are getting fleeced for the benefit of the 10%. So you don't have to be a political genius to say, maybe I should try and make my constituency the 90% outside the system getting fleeced rather than being part of the 10% of the system that are the beneficiaries of the fleecing. But that's just me. Diana Rickard documenting, among other things, I learned early on that there would be no fixing the system from within, especially from my role. This is a state government that has been broken for decades or fixed. It's designed to reject improvement in every form and every level. Despite the shoddy condition of the state, fiscally and otherwise, there's a disturbing sense of entitlement among some state employees. Some emphasis. Mm-hmm. During my first week, someone who said they had been promised a job approached me when I asked what he did all day. The employee said, not a lot, but they promised me I would have a position.
Oh, my gosh.
Another government employee asked me to authorize a raise in excess of $25,000. The person was not a direct report, and we would not be working together, but she said, I know it can be done and has been done. She then explained how to execute such a significant salary increase without raising red flags. Rickard says parenthetically, I rejected her request. We hear all the time that the government is bureaucratic and inefficient. Guess what? It really is. She also documents, if you ever saw Waiting for Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched it. I have it.
Yeah, great documentary about school choice and looked at the New York City school system in particular. And if you remember the Dance of the Lemons.
Oh, yeah.
How no terrible teacher, even teachers that were accused of crimes, would be fired by the New York public school system. They would just transfer one bad teacher to another school in exchange for another bad teacher being transferred to another school, just kind of reset the table. Yeah. And frankly, the same way the Catholic Church did with predatory priests. We're just going to push them. We're just going to transfer them somewhere else, get them out of their current environment, and see if that improves. And, of course, it doesn't. Well, Rickard documents that in state government as well. I started by asking Human Resources for job descriptions and performance reviews for all staffers under my supervision, but was told none existed. Then I learned how it really worked. Underperformers aren't fired. They're simply transferred to different positions, shuffled elsewhere on the payroll of tucked away at state agencies. In the best scenarios, these employees are moved to vacant existing slots where they might be a better fit and deliver value for Illinoisans. In other instances, jobs are created simply to get the employee out of the sight of whoever thinks he or she is a problem. She notes one case, an employee was being moved, never reported to his new job. It's like a scene from Office Space. But he never showed up again to his old job either. He just continued receiving a paycheck for not being there until, of course, it was finally noticed. Just on and on and on. So the no-nonsense businessman who was going to shake up Springfield and turn around Illinois and bring business principles to bear on state government.
And then what happened over the weekend with Christina Rasmussen after 88 days?
Chief of Staff. Yeah, I mean, that was my opinion. That was a long time coming. It's an untenable position for Rasmussen. She is a policy leader. She believes in the economic liberty policy agenda, and she's got co-governors who don't. I mean, I understand.
Was it the signing of House Bill 42 that finally?
I don't think it's one thing. This is what the the Chicago Press Corps, they're basically the same thing, just a local level. See, they don't do journalism. They push narratives. That's what the Chicago Press Corps does. And their narrative is, this is all about HB 40. And HB 40 is important. This is the public funding of abortion. The first governor in U.S. history to initiate public funding of abortion on demand. That's what the co-governors, the Rahners, did. But it's not just that. It's the total blundering on tax increases for spending reforms. It's another bailout of Chicago public schools for some people, even with the tax credits. And that's, his present commercial about how wonderful both sides of that deal is. Only half of that deal is good, the tax credit scholarships. The other half of it is the same old horror of pouring more and more money into a Soviet-style system that does a terrible job educating kids and being indifferent about the outputs, only caring about the inputs. That's not business principles. It's sanctuary state. It's transgender birth certificates. It's everything across the board. It's his personal, how they personally treat people. It's their integrity tests, at least his, which he's failed. It's all of those things.
How do they treat people? Is that going to come out?
It's going to come out. I can guarantee you that, as I said at the outset, when you engender no loyalty and you treat people poorly, ultimately that will present itself. And this is why there is so much interest in seeing Rauner either not run again, which I think a lot of people would ideally like to see, so that you can avoid an expensive, contentious primary, since the Democrats have one in the offing. Or some even, suggesting primarying him to beat him at the ballot box. The problem is that he's so damaged the brand for that office. I'm not sure that any Republican can win the governorship in 2018. That's how badly Rauner's performance has damaged that office with respect to, are you more likely to vote for a Republican or Democrat for governor? It is substantially greater than the generic ballot deficit Republicans face, generally speaking, for all offices. There's something unique with governor, and the proximate cause of it is Rauner's performance. There's just no other ways to say it. Judy in Lamont, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. First off, Dan, you can repair the damage, so you go for it. So if that's your thing, you go for it. I told your call screener I got this in the mail yesterday. I don't know if you all received yours, but I got a little letter calling it the Springfield Cleanup Crew Major Donor Club I got invited to, and it's from the Rauner campaign here. And he starts out, I support your re-election. Because I marked up my letter. I support your reelection as you continue to fight Illinois. And then it goes on, and, I'm gladly enclosing my money and blah, blah, blah. So I marked up mine, and I said, I am most certainly not going to continue with you. And I said, you're voting for the death of babies and persons that are not here legally. And I'm not supporting any other Republican. I am supporting almost any other Republican besides you. This is my mock-up on this letter that I'm sending back, because they want $500, $2,500, $1,000.
Sure.
He said, I'm enclosing my gift of, and I put absolutely nothing. It's like I was so livid when I got it. So it is a hard call, but for me, and depending on who is up there, I just won't vote. I just won't vote. It'll be a hard one because I've never done that. But if it's him again, and plus Diana, and Dan kind of remembers, Major Common Core way back in the day, and I was so hesitant to vote for him in the first place, but I figured, well, he's a Republican, he's a good businessman, and this is what we have. Killing babies on the backs of our taxpayers and all that good stuff. So I can't vote for him. So
thanks for the call, Judy. Appreciate it. And, this is where a lot of people were on Mark Kirk in 2016, and he managed to get 41% of the vote, get hammered by Tammy Duckworth. That's the problem. This is the calculus they're missing, I think. Boy, it's just it's very interesting. Look, you've got Republican Party, forget the conservative base. You've got kind of establishment Republican Party organs, local organizations that are uninviting the governor from events. The Naperville Women's Republican Organization just disinvited him from an event. You had it happen at a South Suburban picnic. You've got a revolt that he has sparked. It was supposed to be a revolt against the political class, and it turned out to be a revolt against him. John in Waukegan.
Yeah, Mr. Rauner's pretty much destroyed his base. He lost me when he signed that Trust Act. And then he lost some more Republicans with this abortion issue, which they don't approve of. So I feel like that former caller there, it's a hard thing to think of, but I just might not vote if he survives the primary.
Thanks, John. Sharon in Itasca.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'm not a social justice believer. I'm a believer in poetic justice. And Rauner's going to get big-time poetic justice from someone like me and thousands of other conservatives who are not going to be supporting him. And here's what's distressing, and I heard you mention this on one of your other shows, where people make the deplorable statement that they would rather see the women abort their babies than pay for them through the age of 18.
Yeah.
So that's a typical example of is basically you not only drinking the Kool-Aid, but you drinking the Kool-Aid and saluting the statist government because you feel so damn trapped with high taxes, high regulations, especially as a small business owner. You're just begging these morons to make things cheaper for you so you'll abandon all principles. So I don't completely blame the taxpayers for saying that, but this is the kind of statist trap that Rauner and company has planted for the tax-paying public in Illinois, and it's really reprehensible.
Thanks.
But I'm not going to be supporting the guy.
Thanks, Sharon. Bob in Joliet.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy. I've gotten that same letter looking for support, and I didn't even use the same letter. I used an envelope. I wrote out a little note. Told him not only will I not give him one penny, I will not give him my vote. I will vote for any other Republican in the primary, and if by chance he makes it to the general, I'll vote for none of the above. I'll vote in the other offices, but I will not vote for anybody for governor.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate the call. Mike in Uptown.
Yeah, Dan, you said that Bruce Rauner has lied to everybody he's talked to. Why are you surprised? He's a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Politicians lie at all times, in all reasons, all cases. Politicians, when they're alive from the day they're born to the day they die, they lie at all times about everything. They lie to everybody. Why are you surprised that Bruce Rauner did it?
Thanks for the call, Mike. I'm not necessarily totally surprised. I mean, on some scores, just because a lot of politicians, even if they're operating from a position of expediency rather than principle, they'll go in the direction where, say, 70% of the likely general election electorate is. So Bruce Rauner went the opposite direction on Sanctuary State. He went the opposite direction on HB 40. So even just for your own political survival instincts, I mean, there's a certain level of incompetence in addition to what I call moderate ideology. The moderate ideologues. It's conservatives always get tagged with being the ideologues. Well, it turns out here, the social justice warriors, as Diana describes both of them, are the moderate ideologues. 70% of the people opposed to HB 40, he signs it. 70% of the people opposed to Sanctuary State, he signs it. 85% of likely Republican primary voters opposed to transgender birth certificates, he signs it. A majority of the electorate opposed to Chicago public school bailout, he's not. So, it's an amalgam of a lot of things, but they're all particularly bad because they're inconsistent with what he promised, being Mr. No Social Agenda, and it turns out all he had was a social agenda.
And his wife had the social agenda.
Well, yeah, but okay, but
she was just waiting for him to settle in.
Well, but he wears the jacket for it, and then the deleterious political judgment calls that are being made. I mean, his reelect number, to repeat, is under 25%. Under 40% as an incumbent, you're in deep trouble. Under 25%, you're a dead man walking politically. I mean, we're approaching Rod Blagojevich numbers after he was arrested.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-6779. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-6779. Again, that's 1-800-600-6779.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. That's 1-800-400-7011. 1-800-400-7011.